Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mormon Stories Podcast. I'm your host, John Dehlin. It is June 5th, 2026. We are live streaming today, and we have a hot, big story, Mormon story that's blowing up the internet far and wide, even though it is, dealing with Mormons. The entire internet, it seems, is interested. This is definitely one of the most recommended stories I've received in quite a while. The thumbnail says the Mormons behind the Lego scandal. There's this huge Lego related scandal that again has hit the internet, and we're here to cover it. I asked Julia. Julia's here with us. Hey, Julia.
Hi.
Happy Pride Month.
Yeah, thanks. Happy Pride Month to everybody out there too.
Is it Fidelity Month or is it Pride Month? I'm confused.
It's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month. Okay. Happy Pride Month everywhere outside of Utah, and within Utah, happy Fidelity Month, according to Gary Cox, the governor. We'll cover that in another episode. But anyway, Julia, thanks for joining us. And you kind of produced this episode. Yeah. I want to welcome everyone who's joining us on the live stream. We'll just ask everyone at the beginning, please subscribe, please like, please comment. Super chats will allow us to see and show the comments or questions. We would love to get feedback from the live audience. This is a story that's moving fast, and so we want to, there's probably going to be comments and input that'll happen in real time, and we'll just ask people to share them with super chats so we'll see them. But again, if you subscribe and like and support us, that really, really helps. So anyway, Julia, why don't you take this over? I'm kind of learning a lot of this for the very first time.
Yeah.
The audience who has no idea what this Lego scandal is, you guys are clueless, all kind of right along with me. And also, who's this dude in the middle? You got to tell us that as well.
Yeah, so this is Matt. Matt, how about you just take a few minutes and you can introduce yourself?
Okay. I gotta apologize because I've got the sound going around and around and around. I think I'm hearing it 2 or 3 times.
Oh, you probably got tabs open on your YouTube. You got to close all the tabs so that it's not playing it back and forth. But Julia, why
I thought I was just, it was like schizophrenia or something.
Yeah. Okay.
No, my name is Matt Gillespie, and I just have a really small YouTube channel. I've been a Lego fan since I was 5. I still have all my original Legos from Lego. I got to back up. The plural of Lego is Lego.
I did not know that.
Yes. So many people are getting that wrong. But anyway, I have my collection since a kid. I make mostly vehicles, tanks, planes, jets, anything like that. And I make things on commission.
Okay, wait. Is this we should be showing slides for?
Yeah, we've got slides for this.
Okay. So what is this slide?
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is kind of my exposure and my knowledge of Mormonism. I'm not a Mormon. I've never been one. But I first heard the word Mormon when I was a kid watching the Osmond Family. And I saw them. I said, gee, there's so many of them. And my mom goes, that's because they're Mormon. And I'm like, what's that? And so she told me a little bit. That's also the very first time I heard the word polygamy, too. So anyway, fast forward as an adult, I didn't realize it till I put the things together that my introduction was actually through true crime books. I read the book about Mark Hoffman, like in the mid 90s. And around that time I read the 4 O'Clock Murders. That's like the LeBaron family clan. And then when, I think I actually ordered John Krakauer's book, I couldn't wait for that to come out. And it went so deep. I thought it was going to be a true crime story, but it was really like a history. And I got on the early internet and started looking at the Book of Abraham and how the hieroglyphics were basically kind of busted it down. And I said, wow, that's a deal breaker. And it just made me want to go deeper and deeper into it. And I've been a fan of yours for several years. I also watch other folks in the sphere.
Wait, really quickly, yeah. Why would you, what's your interest in Mormon themes today?
My interest in Mormon themes is it has to do, the Lego is the crossover. And I've learned Lego has an importance, maybe in Mormon circles, even more than, the rest of the United States. But what this Lego story has done is it's taken, it started out just like a business dispute, but it got deeper and deeper and deeper. And basically it turned into folks going, wow, there's a Mormon conspiracy behind. Now, this is just perception.
No, but I'm asking you, why are you interested in Mormonism as an adult prior to the Lego scandal, but after reading those books? Are you saying you've been watching Mormon themed podcasts just over the past several years?
Yeah.
Why?
Why? It's, to be honest, for an outsider like me, it's a train wreck. You're watching a train wreck.
You're saying Mormonism is a train wreck? I'm offended.
Sorry. No, but the thing is, and especially with Mormon stories, is you have like some amazing people. You have amazing guests, and you have people like me. But anyway, you have fantastic people, and you get to see people kind of making these realizations of what's going on in their life and going, wow. And it's basically setting themselves free. And us, the Gentiles, us on the side, we're cheering you on. We're going, yes, live your own life, have good morals, but live to your own rules. And
so your concern, if you, as a never-Mormon, your concern with Mormonism is one sentence, fill in the blank.
Mormonism is controlling.
In your opinion,
in my opinion.
And so you're fascinated with Mormonism and Scientology and things like that, just because they're high demand religion.
Yeah, those are the top two. I've looked a little bit at the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah.
And then you had a Seventh-day Adventist guest. She was fantastic. I'm like, I'm gonna dig into this.
There are Mormon apologists that call what we do Mormon cult porn. Is that right?
yeah, I've heard about that.
I never heard that, but it's
Mormon
true.
Cult porn. You're a Mormon cult porn consumer.
Yes, I am. It's ethical Mormon porn, though.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so what's this next slide? You were talking about stuff you do.
This is what I do. You can see, for those
listening, describe what we're seeing here.
That's like a '69 Plymouth I did on commission for it. These are all my different designs. I build them from scratch.
So tanks,
tanks, planes, cars, and
so you just take vanilla. You take vanilla Lego parts, and you make custom. That's so these are
all my designs.
Do you just take generic Lego pieces and then make stuff out of them custom?
Yes, my rule is I get a box of Lego, the original kit. I build it one time, and I never build it again.
Eddie Van Halen? Was that a Eddie Van Halen Lego?
No, it's not a Lego. But see, my other thing I do is costumes.
Okay.
And I build props, and we'll look at that next.
No, there's no slide about that. I just wanted to make sure it was okay.
But it's but with the Lego, I only build what's on the box once. I don't keep Lego built on my shelf. I don't do that. Once I build it, I see how it is, and then I take it apart, and actually have different colors and stuff, and I just build from that. And I'm creative.
Wait. I just want to make sure I understand. Mm-hmm. So when I grew up, you just bought a big kit of random Legos and you made stuff. This whole prefabricated Harry Potter castle Lego thing, that's all after I stopped playing with Legos. And honestly, after my kids got grown. So what you're saying is you'll buy one of those kits of like Harry Potter or Star Wars. You'll build it once, and then you'll take it apart again, throw all the pieces in these big bins, and then you'll make custom Legos. Is that
Absolutely.
right?
That's right.
And do you do it for pay? Like, do people pay you to make design?
Yeah. So I've been commissioned to build a couple things like that. '69 Plymouth Roadrunner was like, it doesn't look like it, but there's like 2,000 pieces in that. Super, super detailed. The hood opens, trunk. You can see the engine. But I specialize in vehicles. But I can build anything. So like if anybody, they want a custom build of like the Carthage Jail or the Hill Cumorah, you can look me up.
I love it. And really quickly, is 3D printing a thing where people make their own Lego parts?
It is. No, this is something that's important too. Is Lego? They let their patent expire. I can't remember when, but now any third party can make Lego compatible bricks.
Oh.
So yeah, so there's companies that specialize in making, like Lego has a rule against making like modern war machines. They don't make tanks. They don't make warplanes. So there's people that have stepped in, and but me, I built off from me. Yeah, but there's companies like Kobe, if you're hiring, that do that, and they have like specialized parts like tank barrels and stuff. But I do it the old school way, and I make it out of existing Lego. But a competitor now is Mega Blocks, and they make some of these. They make some of these parts that I'll use. They all fit with Lego. So you can get some cool parts that way.
Okay, really quickly, what's this slide about? We don't have a lot of time.
Okay, yeah. I'm also these are some of the costumes that I do, and they're pop culture type things. And one thing I realized when I was putting this together, if you look at the guy near the bottom right, wearing the green, and he's got a camouflage dude next to him, that was my costume as Waco cult leader David Koresh. This was back in the 90s. And I actually burnt the coat so you could smell. I smelled like fire. I smelled like I'd been in fire.
You're committed. When you just
total detail. These are all hand built.
That's Eddie Van Halen. We've got Kermit and Animal and Miss Piggy. We've got Jedi, some sort of Jedi thing with
that's Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I'm Obi-Wan. You got I'm Ringo Starr.
Those Transformers there.
Yeah,
I love it. You're basically like a LARP, not LARPing. What is it? Cosplay, kind of like a cosplay.
Yeah, I was doing cosplay before cosplay. I've never been to a Comic-Con or anything. People are like, "Oh, you got to go," but I'm like, "No, I can't go now." Now, a real Transformers, they do all that stuff, and I'm kind of out. All right.
So
what's this next slide about?
Oh, so this is just the coverage. We wanted to show in just a little quick snippet. I think Matt, you got this one, just to show how many content creators, and this is from a couple days ago, so I'm sure it's bigger than this. But this is just a brief. So just here, we're just scrolling through and just showing how many people are covering this, and it's been covered on the news. You've got like, I can't remember everything, Fox 13, ABC. You've got different news outlets talking about this.
So if someone has no idea what we're talking about,
yes,
we're talking about like this. Can one of you give a 3 to 5 sentence summary of the story before we go into it in detail?
Well, I got to say, unless you've been like living under a shed with a white salamander.
Well, hang on. Hang on.
I can tell you, nerd.
Yeah, so
I can tell you, nerd, that most people have no idea what this.
Yeah, so until John reached out to me, I had this was just a couple days ago. I had no idea about this story. So old man gives Star Wars Lego collection to his son, says these are worth $200,000, and I want you to cash them in and pay for your kid's schooling. So I guess his grandkids' college fund or whatever. And so he goes and he gives them to a store, but on commission. So he says, we'll get
on
consignment.
Yeah.
Sorry. So he says, you keep 35%, I'll get the other 65%, and then you guys sell them for me, and then you pay me the 15th of every month. And so this seemed to be happening under the owners of the franchise, because there's different franchises for the Bricks and Minifig. Anyway, so then they got this story gets all crazy.
Bricks and Minifigs. I know we're going to talk about it, but just super high level.
Oh yeah, Bricks and Minifig. We have a slide that just says the name. So Bricks and Minifig is just they resell Legos. They just the characters and then the sets and things like that.
Yeah, they're the biggest. They're Lego authorized, and they're the biggest in the business.
Yeah.
As far as people reselling it, people basically say it's a pawn shop for Lego.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So what did you say was consignment? Am I saying the right word? Yeah, consignment. So the whole collection goes to consignment. The franchise is in charge of the consignment, but then the owners of that get kicked out, and we'll talk about all of these. They get either vacate, abandon the property, or get kicked out, depending on which side. And then Brian Mansell, this son, doesn't get the rest of the collection. Some of it had been sold. He had been paid a little bit, but as far as I understand, this now Bricks and Minifig is holding on to the rest of this collection. And so he's just been trying to get it back, or trying to get the worth of this, because it was worth $200,000. So I guess now they only had half, so it's only $100,000. So he's just trying to get that back, either the money or anyway. So then
the son of the guy that put a bunch of Legos up for consignment.
Right. And so he'd been trying to get this story going, trying to get these back, lawsuits and things like that.
Change hands, right? Once the business changed
once the business changed hands. But then this man wasn't getting any success. And so he got a hold of this YouTuber named Reckless Ben, because he was looking for people to do episodes. He was like, oh, send me an email if you want me to do an episode on this thing. And he was like, oh, this is a really interesting story. And so he latched onto this, and he's just been taking it and running with it. So like
he's got like over 1 million subscribers, right?
He's got six videos, I think, as of yesterday, that are on this topic. Yeah, he has 1 million subscribers, and each of these videos has, I think, 1 million views, if I'm not mistaken, or more. So like this story has really taken off. So
speaking of taking off, I forgot. Blue is no longer an approved color on this show. I got to take this bright blue shirt off. I tried to find an orange one, but
Matt just made a legal reference. I'm wearing blue. In fact, in honor of the American Fork Police Department, I'm wearing my BYU hat. Because they both are in Utah County, where we do things differently, apparently.
That's right.
So, okay, so what's this? Thanks for that summary. And by the way, there's a Mormon angle. So what's this next slide, Julia?
Okay, so the next slide is from the show All Those in Favor. It's an LDS, as far as I know. Are we off the screen?
Right there we go.
Yeah, so it's an LDS pro LDS channel, and I think, but Ben has just been on their channel too. So, but this is a clip from a couple days ago that just kind of gives an overview that this is even being talked about in the active Mormon sphere. Okay. So it's just
all
a really
those in favor. There's a scandal rocking the United States right now about stolen Legos, and it is related to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is perhaps the most requested video we've ever had. We've had so many people sending us DMs about this issue, and there's allegations of corruption. Mormon Mafia is trending again, and Baylor and I,
this time it's true.
It's true.
So why was your voice accelerated there?
We tried to figure that out too. I don't know what happened.
I looked. I think they're just talking fast.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's a Faithful Mormon YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they say
they're using the term Mormon Mafia, which is hilarious.
Right.
And that is what you see over and over and over and over again in the comments.
And apparently, if it's trending again, that means it's trended in the past. So, Julia, I have not been plugged in to this hashtag Mormon Mafia. I'm one of the bigger Mormon YouTubers. So
well, you should know about this. I don't know anything about this.
Maybe you're a part of it.
Maybe Mormon Illuminati. Is that
right? Yeah, exactly.
Mormon Trilateral Commission. Okay. Yeah. What's this next slide, Julia?
I think this is the BYU. This is the Cougar Chronicle, which I think is the BYU. Is this the official BYU paper?
Probably.
I think so. But the title is "The Bricks and Minifigs Scandal: Another Case of Anti-LDS Hysteria."
Oh, so this is just hysteria.
And just the title just caught my attention. So I was like, we should just show this, just because.
Yeah, go Cougars.
Anti-LDS.
Rise and shout. Well, I'll be the judge of whether this is anti-Mormon hysteria. Because, I'm kind of doing this for the first time. All right, what's this, Julia?
We were just going to give an overview of what the Bricks and Minifig, which I feel like we've already done.
Okay, so the Bricks and Minifigs website, right?
Yeah.
They are valued. They're valued on the web or on the, in the sphere out there. They're saying anywhere between 95 and 400 million is their value.
So maybe at least 100 million as a retail outlet?
Yeah.
Okay, that seems like it's really big, but if that's true, they're the biggest.
They're supposedly the biggest Lego retailer in the world. Reseller. All right.
What's this slide?
Okay, this is a. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you go.
This is actually a map I made out of Lego, and I actually picked this up from Alyssa that when per Google Trends, when the word Lego is searched for, the concentration by state is number 1 is Utah, number 2 is Idaho, and 3 is Wyoming.
Oh my gosh!
So what is up with Mormons and Legos? I had no idea Mormons. I mean, we are big on Disney.
I've never thought about that.
Yeah, we're big on Disney. I guess we're big on Legos. We're big on ice cream and Jell-O.
I know why.
And we're big in plastic surgery.
Because we can't consume coffee.
No, it's not the coffee. It's because it's a family thing.
That makes sense.
People of all ages adults will build Lego kits with their kids.
Yeah.
Big family.
And they even they tailor kits to like girls or boys, and some to moms. Like my wife bought one. They have these beautiful botanical plant things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so there's something that they make that's attractive to like everyone, and it's something the whole family can do. And I think that's why it's so popular.
Yeah.
That makes sense. A lot of kids, a lot of families, a lot of Legos.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Lego.
What?
Lego. Remember? Plural form of Lego is Lego.
I'm gonna struggle with that this whole episode, so I apologize.
Stop correcting. I'm not going to get that fixed. Okay. So why are we showing Oregon?
Okay, we're showing Oregon is because that's where the story starts out. The Bricks and Minifigure store is in Salem. It's in Kaiser, Salem. It's like a suburb.
Can I blow you guys away? My dad's third wife and he lived in Kaiser, Oregon for like 25 years.
Wow.
So I spent a lot of time in Kaiser, Oregon, and they were a member of the ward there in Salem, Oregon. So I actually know where Kaiser is, and I've been there over 2 decades. So that's crazy that Kaiser, Oregon is coming up here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got Oregon is where this is happening.
Yeah.
So overview of the story. Go ahead.
Yeah, the collection is actually Star Wars Lego.
Okay.
And this is not the collection. This is one of my subscribers that I featured. I mean, but people are serious about their Lego.
Yeah.
And the collection itself is actually still in the boxes. One of the sets is actually valued at $10,000. So it's big money.
One box is 10,000.
One box, yeah, one kit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, and you can have a minifigure worth $1,000. That's not
the
unusual.
little see-through. Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah, this. Mm-hmm.
So, like, what is the Death Star or the Millennium Falcon? Like that one on the right in the middle, the right.
It's a Star Destroyer.
What is that worth?
You know, I'm not sure because it's way beyond my.
Maybe people in the comments can check for us.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Cool. Okay, so that's an example of how people are serious about their Legos. All right, let's do the timeline. Who's doing the timeline?
I can do that.
Okay, go ahead, Julia.
So this is just me. This is just my. I don't want to. Yeah. So this is just me putting a timeline up here. So February 2023, Crystal Law-Gorman and her husband, or excuse me, I think it's partner, and I think that's important. We can talk about that later. Her and her partner acquired the Kaiser Salem Bricks and Minifigs franchise location. Late 2023, Brian Mansell and his 83-year-old father consigned a massive Lego Star Wars collection to the Salem store. The collection reportedly contained 780 plus sets, along with 1,200 minifigures, as well as numerous rare sealed Star Wars sets, so unopened. The collection was publicly promoted by the store as being worth more than $200,000. And I don't know if this is just the franchise promoting this, like the Salem one.
Yeah, it was on the Kaiser Facebook page.
Okay. And then according to Mansell, the son who's consigning this, the store would sell items on consignment, meaning an owner, consignor, entrusts their goods to the third-party consignee to sell on their behalf. The store would keep 35% of sales. Mansell would receive periodic payments. Unsold inventory would be eventually returned to Mansell. In November 14th of 2023, Bricks and Minifigs issued a notice of immediate termination to Crystal Law-Gorman and her partner. A corporate repossessed. I'm sorry, I cannot say that word. Repossessed the store. And then if we go on,
I'm just going to summarize. So this person, Crystal Law-Gorman, and her husband get a Bricks and Minifigs franchise in Kaiser or Salem, Oregon. Brian Mansell, on behalf of his 83-year-old father, consigns this guy's collection, his dad's collection, worth over $200,000 to the store, the Bricks and Minifigs store, owned by Crystal and her husband. And then the store changes ownership and immediately issues a notice of termination, and Crystal and her husband are kind of fired and lose their franchise, right? Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll expound on this one. So November 22nd of 2024.
Wait,
oh, sorry. This one's got 2, yeah. So November 22nd of 2024, Brian Mansell reportedly sent a formal notice of cancellation and termination to new store owners Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson by email and mail. Mansell cited 2 alleged breaches of the agreement: failure to make a November payment and refusal to allow him to inspect the remaining inventory. according to which it does say in the agreement. According to Mansell, the notice demanded access to sales records dating back to April 1st, 2024, payment of any outstanding proceeds, and the return of all remaining sets within 10 days. And then late 2024, Johnson and Best take over the Salem store and claim that Bricks and Minifigs specifically do not do consignment deals and that the inventory is theirs. Throughout 2025, Mansell pursued recovery of the collection and attempted to sue Bricks and Minifig, but to no avail. May 2026, Mansell emails Reckless Ben, who jumps on the story and takes matters into his own hands.
Okay, and so just so that people get these names right, so Mansell, again, is the son who's trying to get his dying dad's Legos back, right?
Lego,
Yes.
yeah.
What did I say?
No, you're fine. Keep going.
Johnson and Best, they're the local owner, the new local owners in Salem Kaiser?
Yeah, who
Yes.
take it over from the Gorman laws. Yeah.
Okay, and are we going to talk about whether they're Mormon or not, whether we have any idea if they're Mormon or not?
The Gorman laws?
Johnson and Best.
Oh, yes. We
Yeah,
will
we'll
talk
get
about
to
that.
that.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
really soon.
Okay, and so Mansell can't get the Legos back on behalf of his dad. They try to sue the parent company, don't have any success, so they reach out to this Reckless Ben guy for help. Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you for helping me make sense of that. This is Reckless Ben.
Yeah, we already talked about this, but he's got 1 million subscribers. He's got these 6 videos. Matt and I have combed through all these videos and we pulled out all these clips, and that's what we're going to show today. A lot of what we're going to show.
Okay.
Reckless Ben is kind of famous for. He's actually done some amazing work. He first got famous for infiltrating Scientology, and
are those the dudes that were running through Scientology headquarters?
No, that's
No.
more recent. This was
But
this was 2 or 3 years ago.
And he became part of the Sea Org, right?
Yeah, he got as high as like joining their clergy.
Oh wow! So he like infiltrated it and moved his way up.
Yes.
Oh
and he
wow!
did a series that was just, for me, it was like fall down funny. It's
oh my gosh!
informative.
He's a talented YouTuber. He's a talented YouTuber.
He's what I say about Ben is he's a goofball, but he's a righteous goofball.
He's really entertaining, and also he's really good about showing his sources. He's so in all these videos, I noticed that he seemed to be really meticulous to detail as far as trying to do everything the legal route. It's
hard to tell how naive he really is, or if he's a genius and he's hiding it. That's the other thing that's interesting.
No, I think he's brilliant, is what I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reckless Ben, everyone check out Reckless Ben. He does good work. I think he's trying to do good in the world. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just, there are so many people in this story. I just made a slide just to kind of keep everybody in track. So Joshua Johnson took over the Salem store, and then after Bam or Bricks and Minifig took control, Brandon Brest also took the Salem store over. And then Ammon McNeff is the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs, or the chief corporate spokesperson. Matt McNeff is his brother. I don't know if they're twins. Do we know that, or just brothers?
I'm not sure, but they look a lot alike.
Okay. Well, they could just be because they're sibling. Anyway, he's the COO of Bricks and Minifig, or the executive leadership. And then you have Kai Mcallister, who doesn't really show up in a lot of Ben's videos, but he's a corporate executive and a unit support agent from BAM, is what my understanding is.
Okay.
So these are the Bricks and Minifig
So
characters.
Joshua and Brett, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think Kai actually had like been promoted to like area development, or there's another title at the time. But that's minor.
Okay.
So Joshua and Brandon are the new Salem store owners. Ammon and Matt McNeff are 2 of the top leaders of Bricks and Minifigs, and Kai Mcallister is also some sort of executive.
The McNeffs are the owners of the company.
Okay.
They aren't the founders, but they are the owners.
Okay. All right. This is helpful. So this looks like Ammon, and that's for those of you who are Mormon. Ammon is a character in the Book of Mormon, and it's one of the most intense characters in the Book of Mormon. Do you know why Ammon is famous in the Book of Mormon, Matt?
You know, that's one thing I should have looked up, but I didn't.
So
I don't remember it. I've heard the name now.
Ammon is called to be a missionary. I think he's white. I think he's a white Nephite. If I'm rusty in the Book of Mormon, he's one of the white ones. and he's called to be a missionary to the dark-skinned,
The Lamanites.
evil, wicked, cursed Lamanites. So Ammon shows up, and as is probably reasonable, a lot of the Lamanites, according to the Book of Mormon, don't like that this white guy shows up on their property. So they start attacking him, I guess, because
they say it's custom. It's custom to just arrest a white guy who walks into their town.
Maybe he's trespassing. Maybe he's trespassing. I don't know. Maybe Ammon, the Book of Mormon, Ammon was trespassing. Anyway, as the Lamanites go to kill or attack Ammon, he pulls out his righteous sword and he chops off so many arms of the Native American Lamanites.
Well, hang on. He was instructed. He was like, "I'll be your servant," and so he puts him over the flocks. So he's with the dark-skinned Lamanites.
That's right. That's right.
That was my favorite story.
Oh my gosh, I'm so rusty.
You're fine.
Okay, so that's right. So he goes to be a missionary to the king, right?
And he's like, "You can marry any of my daughters because I'm kind of impressed by you." And he's like, "No, I'll just take care of your sheep, or your flocks or whatever."
So that's right. Thank you, Julia. So he goes to take care of the flocks, and then some bad robbers come to try and steal the sheep.
Oh,
yeah.
And then he pulls out his righteous sword and he chops off so many arms that they have to put them in a pile.
Mm-hmm. And then they show the king, and the king's like, "Oh my gosh, this man is God."
They bring the piles of arms to the king to show the king. That's who Ammon is in the Book of Mormon. Julia, thank you for rescuing me.
That was like the original arms race, I guess.
I made those jokes when I was a Mormon dad. Yeah.
Well, somebody says, "Don't forget about him feeding the horses that didn't exist." So yeah, that's
the tapers.
The tapers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Matt knows his Mormon apologetics. Okay.
So this is
Ammon McNeff is named after Ammon, and he apparently went to Brigham Young University, which technically doesn't necessarily make him a Mormon.
That's true.
I think 98% of BYU students.
Yeah.
So he's likely Mormon.
We know for sure he's Mormon. Sorry, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Who's this guy?
Yeah, what's perfect about Ammon is he looks like a cartoon villain.
He does?
Yes.
This guy?
He's got it's kind of hard to tell from that picture, but he has he looks like a Snidely Whiplash. He's got the curled waxed mustache.
Okay. So that gives villain vibes to you, Matt. Okay. All right.
But not just to me.
All right. To other people too.
Common.
So is this the same guy in this next photo?
Guy.
Okay, he looks different. He looks different in the second photo.
Yeah. So somebody in the clip on the right, someone actually did what I was going to do and make a caricature.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been comments that the one on the right is from one of the videos.
For people that are listening, Matt. People
okay, I'll describe it. Sure.
Don't watch. So
okay. So what we have is a guy, and he has a real traditional, like a late 19th century mustache and like a soul patch, and he looks like the character in the Klondike serials where he ties the damsel to the railroad tracks.
Okay, and so he's got a mustache with the ends turned up. And so somebody has there's a Lego figure that looks like that with a monocle and a top hat, and they made Ammon into a version of that. Okay. So, wow, don't mess with the Lego internet community.
No.
They're vicious. They're savage. Okay. So now this is Matthew McNeff. We're assuming it's the brother. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the brother.
Right.
Also attended Brigham Young University. What's that?
Yeah, also BYU, yeah.
Okay. And then Brandon Best. Okay, so that's the Salem store owner, right?
Yes. And so I couldn't find any LinkedIn profiles for him. I don't know if he's even has one. But I have a source that has access to church records, and they verified that Brandon Best is an active member in his ward.
So it's probably the Kaiser ward, or the Salem, Oregon ward.
Yeah, my source told me the ward and his calling, but I didn't want to put all that on there. So the more important part is that he's Mormon. He's an active member.
So. Were you going to say something, Matt?
Well, this story crosses state lines.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, because it goes to American Fork, right? It involves the American Fork Police Department. So
right, because he has Brandon has a residence there.
Okay, got it. All right. Okay.
Nearby.
So that answers my question. Brandon apparently is Mormon. And then Joshua Johnson, the other owner of the Salem franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is him.
Yes.
Him.
And no one could read these words; they're too small. But does someone want to summarize?
Well, this is just an image from one of Reckless Ben's, and so this is just like the profile that we were able to grab because I couldn't find a LinkedIn for him either.
It's like from a resume.
It basically says he's an entrepreneur that helps people with their business and medical and dental industries, and he's a speaker. And the word prestigious is there, so his own profile calls him prestigious, I guess. And he helps his clients safeguard their hard-earned assets and financial well-being. Tax planning, asset protection. That's a little ironic. We'll get to that later, I guess.
He protects family heirlooms.
Okay. All right. Okay. So do we know if he's Mormon?
Yeah. So actually, if you'll skip Kai for a second and then go to the next.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. So.
Okay. Yeah. Let me show this really quick. Go ahead, Julia.
No. Yeah. Show it. Yeah. So this is from Reckless Ben's Reddit. And so he points out that Ammon McNeff and Joshua Johnson served a mission together. They were mission companions in Alexandria, Louisiana, 2004.
Oh, so these are mission homies all doing business together.
Yeah. And so, and then if you go to
Mormon Mafia, it's giving Mormon Mafia vibes.
And if you go to the next slide, I just blew up these two little images at the top so you can see them better. And so it says a caption, Elder Ammon McNeff on the right leads a prayer for a safe ride and a successful day of ministry with Elder Joshua Johnson.
That's, for missionaries, that's really good PR to get a paper
of
the elders kneeling in prayer.
Yeah.
And you get a secular newspaper to cover that. These guys must have been impressive. I bet they were APs or zone leaders.
Yeah. Who knows?
They did get at least one convert.
Well, do we know that? Does it say
that?
Yeah,
the picture. I think you have the picture of it. Elizabeth.
Does that mean they got baptized or just?
Well, here, we can read the caption.
Okay, here it is.
So on the right, so there's the right image on the newspaper. Missionaries are forbidden from being alone with the opposite sex unless chaperoned. So Elder Johnson and McNeff talk with Renee Elizabeth, an investigator, in front of her apartment. They're even following the rules to exactness.
Okay.
Their work pays off, as Elizabeth was later baptized. Oh, you're right. By Elder McNeff into the church. So yeah, they do have.
Nice call, Matt.
We were wondering if Elizabeth, she
was.
I'd
love to find her now.
Okay, well, if you're out there, Elizabeth, please reach out. We'll interview you on Mormon Stories. Okay, so as far as the key characters go, what's the Mormon count?
Oh wait, can you go back up to Kai? Let's go back up just for a second.
Oh, go back to Kai. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we skipped it.
Here is Kai. All right, go ahead.
So this is Kai's profile, and it doesn't say anything about BYU. It does say that he lives in Provo, which I don't know the percentage of Mormons who live in Provo.
It's like 90. I mean, it's high.
It's high. Well, I served my mission in Salt Lake, which is, I guess, somewhat near Provo, but like the percentage of Mormons are I think they're minority right now, right? 40%.
Yeah,
maybe?
but Provo is one of those Mormon cities.
That's true, and it does depend on the city that they live. Anyway, so Provo
County is not the same as Salt Lake County in terms.
I had my source check to see if Kai Mcallister was listed, and he wasn't. But sometimes you can't find members without the middle name or things like that. So like it could just be that he's not a member. It could just be that we don't know enough about him to verify that. But I had my source check, and they said they couldn't find him. So
I'm going with he's Mormon, but we don't.
But we don't know for sure.
Yes.
But he is from Provo.
Okay, so it says Provo. All right.
Yeah. So
what's the count? The Mormon count?
So of all the people, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main key characters, 4 of them are Mormon, if not all 5 of them. So
the 2 Salem owners, Joshua and Brandon, are Mormon. The two of the owners, Ammon and Matt McNeff, are Mormon, and Kai is likely Mormon, but we don't know for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's next, Julia?
Okay, so I was really struggling to figure out how to set up the story. Because they all intermesh, and so I wasn't sure. I tried to set this up like show Bam's side of the story, Bricks and Minifig, show the other side of the story with like Ben and the Mansell and everybody, and then try to show more about the American Fork Police.
I like it.
Yeah, so that's how I've set this up. And so like even though we're getting a lot of this from Ben's channel, it does show what they are saying because he's recording a lot of these characters. a lot of these individuals.
Okay, well, let's hear Bam's story first. I like it. Bricks and mortar. Bricks and minifig.
Yeah, I always want to say mortar.
Yeah. Okay, should we play this clip?
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Would you want to set it up?
Yeah, this is just Joshua Johnson. He's saying that the collection belongs to them.
But this is a reckless Ben clip.
Yeah, this is like one of his first times trying to get the collection back.
Okay, all right.
Eventually, the owner of the store called in and asked if he could talk to me.
Are you the owner of the Bricks and Minifigs store?
Yeah, why? What you got?
So basically, I just wanted to get some of the Legos back that you guys still have. I think I'm looking for the clone turbo tank.
Why do you think you would be entitled to our inventory?
Well, at least I confirmed the Legos are still here. The only thing is the owner's claiming that he's the owner of these Lego sets. I mean, it's pretty stupid of him to say that, considering I'm literally holding a copy of a contract he made with the store that said that this Lego Star Wars collection is not the store's property. It's the family's property. The contract makes all of this very clear. So I want to give him one more chance to answer a little bit better.
Well, I just want to get it back to my friend. He said he couldn't get it back, so I was just wondering if I could just come pick him up. Because you guys still have him, right?
Bro, why do you think your friend would be entitled to our inventory?
What's his? He owns the Legos.
Huh? He doesn't own the Legos.
Well, yeah, we have a contract. He does own them.
No, bro, are you an idiot? Are you stupid?
Josh, the police are showing up right now.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, so I'm gonna, one of the reasons why we do stuff like this is to be able to tell how much of a story is Mormon or not, and how significant the Mormon element is. And I'm going to just call some balls and strikes here for my opinion, and I want to hear y'all weigh in as well. But first of all, I just want to acknowledge that while most of the Mormons that I interact with, and a lot of them are ex-Mormons these days, are honest, kind people. And I think there's a lot of people out there in the world who have the impression, including Joe Rogan, that Mormons are nice people, they're kind people, and that they're generally honest people. So that I'm going to say that it wouldn't be fair to say all Mormons are mean or all Mormons are dishonest. I think that would be a gross misrepresentation. However, as a Mormon, I'm also aware that especially in Utah, Mormons do sometimes have this reputation of being super sleazy, scummy business people. And so when I hear that there's scummy, sleazy, dishonest business people who are Mormons in Utah, I'm like, yeah, I've heard that quite a bit. So I'm 50-50 on this being uniquely Mormon, but what it's giving is the vibes of sleazy, scummy Utah Mormon business people just right off the bat. That's my immediate reaction. And rudeness, like to call the guy an idiot. Like, I don't know a lot of returned missionaries that I interact with in my life, and a lot of them are ex-Mormons now, who would ever just right off the bat, somebody calls a business, you call them an idiot. So that's disturbing to me, and would show a uncharacteristic or a disappointing level of meanness for what I would expect from a Mormon. Now, I want to hear Matt's perspective and Julia's reaction, but that's my reaction.
Well, right off the rip, he says, "What you got?" Is that a way to answer the phone? I wouldn't have thought. Because actually I have the same opinion of like Mormons in general, that they're good, they're kind people, and that they're polite. And for this guy to go, "What you got?" Right off the rip, and not have like any professional or just any courtesy, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have enough experience with like business people in that world. I did see a comment, I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody said, yeah, my friend, he's a lawyer. He specifically moved to Utah because that's where most fraud cases are in the United States.
I have heard Utah is top 5 in the nation in white collar kind of affinity fraud. And there's a lot of MLM, multi-level marketing fraud. Not to say that all MLMs in Utah are problematic, but I've certainly heard of many.
Yeah,
and I've also heard from people in law enforcement that historically Utah has led the nation, or at least been high on the list for white collar affinity fraud type of stuff. So,
well, a common trope you find in the contents is that LDS is an MLM.
hey, be careful, man.
I'm just saying what the comments are saying.
Okay. All right, Julia, what's your take? Anything you want to add to this?
Well, so I serve my mission in Salt Lake, but I'm a Southern Missouri Mormon. And so we were taught to, like, you're going to be like probably the only Mormon in your school. So be the best example that you can be, treat each other kind, don't swear, don't do drugs, all the normal stuff. And then like, there's a temple recommended question that was running through my head as I was hearing him talk, where it says, are you honest in your dealings with your fellow men? And like, just this whole thing is kind of makes that come into question. But yeah, he's also like, are you an idiot? Like, what are you, stupid? Like, he's just being really rude to this man, to Ben. And like, whoa, like, I don't know. And then like this woman's immediate reaction was to call the police. I don't know that. I was surprised to find that these guys were all Mormon.
Yeah. So I people are going to have their different experiences. This guy, Josh, is acting ruder than I would expect the average Mormon to, in my experience. Although I don't know if like the past 5 to 10 years with all the political shifts, if the average Utah Mormon has gotten ruder, I don't know. But like, yeah, that's
sugar
for a Mormon in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you say it's the sugar?
Yeah, it's all the soda.
All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to the next clip. I'm not liking Josh so far at all.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, go ahead, Julia.
Oh no, I was just going to set this one up. So this is a clip of Josh claiming that he didn't sign the consignment agreement.
Okay. All right. Let's play it.
Since Josh was pretending to not remember any of the Star Wars sets that make up half of his store's inventory, I decided to send him over a picture of the contract his store is in.
What contract is it? I didn't sign a contract. I didn't sign that agreement. I didn't agree to anything in that.
And now I finally understand the legal loophole that Josh is using to get away with this. It's probably the stupidest loophole I've ever heard in my entire life. Josh is claiming that it's not his name on the contract, it's the previous owner's, which makes no sense because in the security camera footage, he tells the previous owner that he's going to be the one taking over the contract now.
He's taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment liability.
And I guess this is some sort of just contract loophole he's trying to use to steal the world's largest Lego Star Wars collection.
In order for me to be under contract, I have to sign something.
Or you had to take it over from the previous owner, right?
No, that's not how the law works.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
So
If that's how the law works, then sue me for it.
you don't just want to give the Legos back? Like,
Sue me. Let's go to court. I'm calling the police right now, and you guys are going to be arrested for harassment.
or do you feel threatened right now?
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much the owner wanted us to sue him. He wants this because Brian already tried.
Okay. Go. I mean, Matt, what's your reaction to that?
Just unbelievable. As these videos unfold, and unfortunately Ben didn't like number them. You kind of have to know which is one, which is because he's a goofball and he doesn't like even give them good titles. But as they unfold, you get madder and you get madder and you madder at the way, like, you just can't believe this treatment that's going on.
Okay, but what don't you like about it? Can you be specific?
Just that he's denying and he's being confrontational and he's being he's looking down. He's being very condescending.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea that, oh, the owners changed hands and I didn't sign that piece of paper, so we can just violate any agreement from the former owner and seize the property and sell it and make the money because my signature is not on the contract. If that's the logic he's operating under, that's just ridiculous. So I agree with Reckless Ben on that. But then also just like sue me and I'm calling the cops. That's kind of gross behavior, in my opinion. Julia, anything you want to add?
Well, I just was thinking, for some reason, a lot of times growing up Mormon, I was told Mormons don't sue people. And I don't know why I was taught that. I don't know if other people had that experience that like this is just something Mormons don't do. Clearly that's not the case
or is
because
it just
the Mormon
they don't
church is
sue
suing you.
or they don't sue other Mormons.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, here clearly they're suing you, John Dehlin. So, but that's interesting that he would say that. But I love the editing. I have two things: the video editing where he's like, "That's not how it's the video is panning out," and it's like, "That's not how the law works." So he's like, "Yeah, it is," and then it just like stops the music. He's just really good at his video.
He's got
editing.
great editors.
Yeah. The other thing, what was the other thing that I was going to say? Maybe it'll come to me in a second.
Yeah, it's so hostile, so aggressive. It is really problematic behavior. So it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
This has got to be embarrassing for Bricks and Minifigs to have one of their owners behaving this way, and it's getting shared on the internet. What a disaster for their reputation, potentially.
You would think they'd be embarrassed, but just watch.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's saying, so the two parts that we've covered so far, the collection belongs to the store. They didn't sign the consignment. So therefore there's nothing that they're doing that's wrong.
Yeah.
From their perspective.
All right. Should we go to the next slide?
Sure.
Do you want to set it up or just play it?
So this one, so Matt, you compiled this one. It's just like do you want to talk about this one?
Which one is it? I just
want to throw it up on the screen?
Okay.
It doesn't.
What?
It just shows this.
I thought they all had a.
I think this one's just showing how big this case is and how much this.
Oh, okay.
It's just.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So
this is the this is the Reddit. This is just showing you how many twists and turns and how all the things. So on Ben's Reddit page, he's got a list of all the documents, and this is somebody following along. They're also tied to his video, so you can look at each one of these individual things.
It's like a legal history. Is that right? Like a legal history of all the litigation back and forth.
Yes.
Okay.
And it also has the later on they went and added the Gormans responses too. That was based on BAM's lawsuit they file later.
Okay. I remember my comment that I was going to say earlier.
Oh,
somebody in the comments was saying that people aren't taking Ben seriously because he's a kid and he kind of is kind of a goofball, like what you guys were saying. And I think I wonder if they would have taken him seriously if he was like an older man, if he was like in business clothes or like had some other like way of presenting himself. I'm not sure if this is any of the case, but he keeps throughout a lot of these videos, they're like, he's just a kid. And like, he's talking to him like he's some teenage kid. And so like, he's not a kid. Like, I just think that people are not taking him seriously. And I don't know if it's because of his YouTube.
Well, part of it is he's from Southern California. He's like Jeff Spicoli showing up. Hey, dude, give us the Lego, man.
That's a movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High for you.
Yeah.
Millennials and Zillennials. Sean Penn played a character called Spicoli in a movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Julia, did you get that reference?
No.
Okay. So
wow. Okay.
Matt, remember, we got young people here.
Yeah.
But I got it. Okay. All right. So that's the Bricks and Minifigs side of the story.
That's the gist of it. It'll grow.
We didn't sign the previous contract. So even though we allegedly, and we should say, I don't know if there was a disclaimer slide. We did. Was there a disclaimer slide?
No, I put it in the description detail or the description.
Okay. I'll say right now, everything we say here from the beginning of this podcast to the end episode is all alleged. We can't possibly verify all the facts. We don't know if things are fully represented by Reckless Ben or by others, all the commentarists. So we are just doing our best to make sense of the video and the information that's out there. So everything is allegation until proven factual in a court of law. Is that an okay disclaimer, Julia?
That's
Is there
great.
anything else we should say?
That's great. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we don't really even know that I've seen if we actually know if all those sets are somewhere, if somebody has them or not. That's something that keeps going back and forth.
Yeah, because I was just going to say, like, what if this is possible, right? Mm-hmm. Is this possible? And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What if when the store got transferred to the new owners, the old Lego set that the grandpa owned had already been sold or stolen or liquidated, such that the new owners never even received the Lego set? Do we have proof That he did receive?
Yeah, so I think Gorman talks about this, Chrys. I think she says that she took images of the inventory before she left. She only was able to take one box of items from her personal stuff before she was kicked out, essentially. And I think Ben, a lot of times he shows all the lists of Legos that were kept, and there's like some kind of marking that shows the ones that were sold and whatnot. But as far as I know, there were verification that there were still in the store.
Supposedly they put a little yellow sticker on the ones that were part of that Mansell collection. And when she was basically pushed out the door, as she says, she's like, can I at least, take an inventory? Can I do something? He's like, no, get out. And she basically, I think he let her take pictures and take video. So I don't know if that's been publicly released, the actual videos of the inventory.
The number of the photos has been released. I've seen.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
Okay. So again, I was just playing devil's advocate, trying to give the benefit of the doubt. We're showing the BAM story. Viewers and listeners are saying I'm missing context. That's because I'm learning as we go. I'm playing the role of audience members that don't know any of this. But if BAM's strategy was, hey, there's a bunch of assets there that we want to liquidate and profiteer from, so let's seize the franchise, and then we don't have to honor any of the consignment agreements, and then we can liquidate the supplies and just make pure profit and rip off all the people that couldn't, consign their stuff to us. If that was their strategy, that's just pure evil.
Yeah, and he's on, we saw the video where or about to watch it, where he says that he acknowledges he's taking over the consignment. And so some people have said that that's not enough to really hold somebody to that kind of contract. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have, but I would assume that if the franchise is I don't know how that all works. If
there are accusations of, oh yeah, we're just going to take this. This is sweet. There's some sweet pieces. They can't go against us because we're too powerful, and we're just going to sell and we're going to make money. Other people are kind of joke like, oh, dude, probably he saw that $10,000 one and he wants that in his man cave. He's just, wow, this is cool. You don't come across this, and just snagged it personally. So yeah, there's accusations of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's play the other side of the story. Whose side is this, Julia?
So to me, in my head, it's Chris Gorman and then some more of Ben. And so these next couple clips are from Chris Gorman and her perspective.
The son of the dying man.
No. This is Chris Gorman. This is the woman who was over the franchise in Salem, Kaiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The previous owner.
Yeah, the previous owner. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's this clip?
This is just a TikTok video that she made. She was like, "Hey, my name's getting thrown around, and I just want to address this specifically." So this is just what her response.
Previous owner telling her side of the story.
So my face has gone a little bit viral in the last couple of days, thanks to a YouTube video by Reckless Ben. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It fills in a lot of blanks that I'm not going to be able to get to in this short video. There's also a couple of TikTok videos from creators on here. I will tag them below so you can check out those videos as well. First, I want to say I appreciate the support from everybody. Across the board, it's been almost completely fantastic, and I appreciate that. So over a year ago, my Bricks Minifigs franchise store was illegally seized by corporate. This was a store that I had poured my entire life savings into, that I had built and created something that I absolutely loved, a customer base that I could welcome into a warm and fun and inclusive environment. This was my life. This was everything to me. I was not compensated for anything in the store. I was removed under threat of police action from the store at night with no notice whatsoever. And included in all that inventory was a very large Star Wars collection that we had under consignment. My husband and I have been fighting for over a year with corporate to get them to come to the table to settle with us so that we could be compensated for what we lost and Brian could be compensated for what he lost. They have thus far shown no indication to act in good faith whatsoever. They are employing every stalling tactic they can think of. We have filed a lawsuit against them. I'm going to try to link a Google Drive of that lawsuit so you can read it if you are interested. Lawyers are expensive. We've incurred over $30,000 in fees thus far, and that's just to get to the point where we can file a lawsuit. I've created a GoFundMe, and There's a video pinned in my profile with that information. Even if you can't donate, just sharing it and getting the word out means so much to me. We appreciate it more than I can say. Also, please don't harass current Bricks Minifigs employees. They are people trying to do their job. For the most part, they're good people that love Lego. What I would, perhaps encourage is to maybe lean on corporate to act in good faith, come to the table, make this right, compensate myself, compensate Brian, try to redeem some shred of decency and integrity within the Lego community before it is irrevocably too late. Thank you, everybody, for your support. I appreciate it so much. I will continue to update as I can within the bounds of our lawsuit. Thank you.
So already my heart is breaking for this woman, because it sounds like she started a Bricks and Minifigs franchise as an act of love, and she poured her life into it. And according to her, illegally and for no good reason, corporate just seizes it and kicks her out. Now, I know we're going to talk a little bit about this. I'm sure the corporate has their version, but she seems credible, and that felt heartbreaking to me. Matt, what did you think?
Well, one thing I'd like to point out, she does look credible. There are some questions about, how well she ran the business, she and her partner, and why it was failing. But what I've seen in the comments is that they talk about the Bricks and Minifigures, all the mom and pop owners out there. They put there's people that have put their life savings and put their efforts into it. And now with this scandal blowing up and with their brand declining, that they're toast. And there's all kinds of comments about y'all should band together and do a class action lawsuit because you've got the people at the top of this company that are tanking your business. And I feel sorry for those people that they're taking a lot of this blame. I've also seen where some people say, yeah, well, my local guy's shady too. So I don't know.
Julie, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I want to add something, and then there's a lot of comments that I want to address as well, and that are going right now. But yeah, she seems really sincere. I know that I've seen a little bit more of the other side where they're worried about money that she could have owed, or if she was the one maybe not paying Brian Mansell and things like that. But she seems like a really decent person. She even says in her longer form videos, she's like, I don't want this to tank, because some of these store owners like herself are like seem to be good people. And so she doesn't want this to tank every Bricks and Minifig franchise. There's one here in my town. She doesn't want them all to go bad. She just wants them to fix the problem, do the right thing, and then run their business as usual. But yeah, there's some comments that says that somebody is saying that Kai Mcallister is a Mormon and served his mission in New Zealand. I think that's what somebody's saying.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then somebody also said that Ammon is not, and I don't know if this is true, I can't verify this, but they said Ammon is not new to suing people. He has sued his own father, if I'm getting that correct. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
These are internet allegations from commenters.
Right. And what is known is like the two brothers, like their father owns a company it's all about like protecting. I can't remember. It's like suing people or protecting people from suits. It's like it's another one of those ironic things. People in the comments, it's called Legally Mine of all things.
Okay. I don't know anything about that stuff. Yeah. Should we play the next one?
Yeah. So this is one I was talking about them addressing the consignment being taken over by the Johnson and Best.
Okay.
Fine. Then we decided to move overseas because of my work. I'm a publisher at a small press, not a pipe publishing, and we thought we might need to be publishing from outside the U.S. for political reasons.
When we approached BAM about selling the store, they pretended to be open to the idea, though they would later admit they had been planning this.
A guy named Brandon Best showed up on a Thursday night and demanded the keys. They threatened us with the police and promised to do an inventory and compensate us. They said they understood there was a large collection on consignment and acknowledged they were taking that over.
If taking on the business, he takes on all that consignment.
They told us the same thing they told Brian Mansell, that we could fight them, but they would drag it out and make it so expensive we would be putting ourselves into a whole lot of shit. Their words.
Okay, so the guy from corporate shows up, says we're taking over, and acknowledges that they're taking over the consignment. And it's sort of a surprise So she wouldn't have even had. They would have even had time to liquidate or sell.
Yeah, that's what.
On consignment.
Yeah, because on one of the other sides in another place, they were saying like, oh, she like cleared out the store, and so basically all the inventory is gone.
Yeah.
But like this is Chrys to her. She only left with the one box of things, and then even she's like saying, I'm really worried about Mansell not getting his money, and they're like, she's trying to be careful about all this before leaving, and he's like, no, we're that's business stuff. We take care of the consignment stuff. Like we take that over.
It's got to be said that about half of the store's inventory was the Mansell collection. And she did. So according to her, she said, look, we need to fold. We're going to move out of the country. Let's talk about it. BAM Corporate says, hey, we got a buyer for you. We're going to send a guy over just to take a look, just to assess, just to take a look. No, he shows up there. Bam, give me the keys. You're out of here.
Well, I think that morning they had that soft conversation about all this. And then that evening she was kicked out.
Right.
Is my understanding.
Yeah, but they told her, oh, we're just gonna have somebody take a look. Yeah. So there was no reason for her to clear anything out. They hadn't gotten there.
Yeah.
Okay, Julia, what's this slide about?
So Law-Gorman shared a document on Reddit, which she claims indicate consignment agreements were permitted under certain circumstances. And here is an image of it, and it's highlighted where they under the circumstances which it was permitted. So it's confusing to me, especially if they're saying like, oh, we don't do that. I don't understand the law, but they're saying
the corporate headquarters said we don't do
consignment, but she's part of the franchise. And I would assume that they would have conversation about that on whether they could or could not do it. I don't think she would just make this up. But I don't know. Like
so
it just seems like
she was allowed to do consignment stuff
by her contract. Yeah.
Some are saying the corporate headquarters is saying we don't do consignment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that their publications don't say that.
Okay. What do you mean?
There's like a franchise agreement, whatever their franchise agreement is, and right in there it says, among the things you can do is do consignment.
Oh, okay.
That's part of like Ben's proof for Ben's side.
Isn't that what that was? Isn't that what that was?
I think it was. I just couldn't read it at the scale. But so they're saying, no, we don't do that. And the paperwork saying you can do consignment.
Yeah.
Franchisee may also offer consignment services, approved theme services, approved offsite events, after-school project-based programs. This is the BAM franchising license agreement saying that franchisee may offer consignment services.
Yeah, so this isn't her agreement with Mansell. This is what she agrees with the franchise as the franchise owner.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
So this next clip, this is one of the reasons why Kai Mcallister has become a name in one of these characters. Because I don't think he really appears in Ben's videos from my understanding. So, but in this video, he's threatening the Law-Gormans.
It's just his voice on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Executive Product Manager and Director of Operations, Kai Mcallister, on the phone with us the night they took the store.
If we go the legal route, it's going to be a very expensive battle for you, and it's not going to be a good position for you guys to get into. There's not a whole lot of options for you. If you want to go the legal route, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to be expensive for you.
Yeah, so why not consider talking with us rather than leaping to this?
We jumped on the call with Crystal this morning.
And you talked with her or you talked at her?
We talked at her. If you fight this, then you're putting yourself into a whole lot of shit. It sounds like a threat, and I can acknowledge you feeling that because in a way it is.
What the?
Yeah.
First of all, if I'm reading that guy's resume, he studied computer science. So why is a computer science guy basically making what seems to be legal threats and giving sort of legal counsel to somebody? But then why would he admit that it kind of is threat? He's kind of admitting he threatened him.
If it sounds like a threat, it's probably because it is.
Yeah,
and then,
probably.
The whole thing.
I have the feeling, I don't know this, but I have the feeling that the BAM corporate group is actually very small. And so
I don't know.
You have a guy overstepping.
That did not sound like a professional phone call by any stretch.
Well, and then he's admitting, he's like, yeah, I talked at her.
Yeah.
We didn't talk to her. We talked at her.
Okay. Okay. So what's so what's this?
So this next one is a comment left by the partner, I think, because he says at the end of that video, he was like, "Oh, look in my comments to see something even crazier." So he says the craziest new development, someone reached out and told us, and this is just an allegation which we can't verify from his words, not me, that Josh Johnson, the other guy who bought the store after it was taken from us, had been going around telling people we were selling heroin. This would fit a pattern, in which we'll see later in this episode. Oh, yeah. When you watch Reckless Ben's video, see that he was also falsely accused of possessing heroin. And considering the way he was treated by the police, it's pretty scary. So please consider donating. So
okay,
yeah.
So that's the former owner
Yeah.
of the Salem Kaiser BAM store.
Yeah.
Saying that BAM corporate was spreading rumors that they used heroin.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think they were saying that. Were they saying? I thought I remember seeing somewhere that they said in that building they were dealing or whatever.
Yeah,
heroin.
like bad talking after they're gone. Well, those guys were fronting. That was a front for selling heroin.
Like we
That's
had
why
to.
they left, and
we had to get them.
we had to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that definitely comes in later. We're about to show a bunch of police footage. Some in the audience are like, "Get to the police footage."
Oh yeah, we will.
Important to tell the background.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So sorry, impatient people who want just the police footage, but it is coming, and it's extremely disturbing for me. It's the most disturbing part of this whole deal. All right, so what's the next clip, Julia?
Okay, so Ben goes to the headquarters, I guess, and he confronts. Maybe that's a rude way of saying that, but he confronts Ammon, and this is him confronting Ammon.
Okay, so Ben, the YouTuber, confronts Ammon, one of the owners of Bricks and Minifig, right?
Yes.
The CEO.
So, to continue the video without getting arrested, I went back to Bricks and Minifigs corporate offices. And the Bricks and Minifigs CEO, the guy who runs the entire company, Ammon McNeff, he personally came out to talk to us.
So what? Okay, wait. Where is this? Where is Bricks and Minifig world headquarters? What
I think
city?
it's in Provo.
Yeah,
We
I think
need
it's
to know that. Will one of you look that up?
Yeah, look up.
Okay, so we think this might be in Provo.
Yeah.
But y'all are gonna check. And this guy coming out is Ammon.
It says Orem.
Okay, so
that's right.
it's in Orem. This is in Utah County. This is in Orem. This is Mustache Ammon. Handlebar Mustache Ammon. Confronted by Reckless Ben, the YouTuber, who's never been Mormon. Probably never been to Utah. Okay.
What's going on?
So you guys are holding some of our Legos?
No, we're not.
You're not?
No.
Is that a lie?
No.
That's a lie. You did take the Legos.
No. So we have our attorneys have visited. Like again. So who's
Brian Mansell.
Okay, and who is that?
He's a guy who had he had like $200,000 worth of Legos in your guys' store.
Nope. Never happened. No,
I mean, it did happen. Yeah, it does happen.
No, we did not.
Yeah, because his Legos were in the store and you guys took them. I know you think lying to us right now is kind of like helping you out.
I'm not lying to you. No.
Well, we both know you're lying, but
No, we don't know that.
So I showed him some social media posts his own company made that are still up that claims that these are Brian Mansell's Lego sets. And these Lego sets that they're still holding on to are worth $200,000. But all of these claims are from his own company. We just caught the CEO of the entire company red-handed in a lie.
Okay, so if I would just want to play devil's advocate for a second, it could be that Ammon was listening precisely to the word choice and that some small word that he used wasn't quite right. So he's basically dismissing the whole story because he wasn't accurate enough in his speech. So I'm just saying, is that possible?
Well, my other thought was, because all those posts said Salem Kaiser, I don't know how franchises work. So like, are they supposed to know what these franchisees are doing? Like, are they aware of consignment? Is he playing dumb, or does he really not know that one of his franchises has done or signed with this consignment? So like, I don't know.
I would tend to think, as hyped up as this collection was, dude would know. That was like a marquee collection.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because there was years of litigation, right?
Yes.
So what are the chances that one of the stores would experience a couple years of litigation around a highly valuable and controversial collection, and that the CEO wouldn't know any of it. So that's one set of questions. The other is, oh, if he's got hundreds and hundreds of franchises, how many do they have? How many?
About 300.
If they have 300 franchises, what CEO could know everything going on in every franchise? So I'm going to just say I don't know how to know whether he's really lying or not. It's possible that Ben knows more than us. It's also possible that Reckless Ben jumped to conclusions there. Julia, do you have an opinion or a reaction?
I don't know if I know specifically if Ammon knows, but I really feel like Johnson and Best have no excuse because like they said on the video, like we are taking over this consignment. So I would think that Johnson's companion bro is going to talk with Ammon. Yeah, that's likely because they're friends, and we've shown that.
Yeah.
So Ammon and Johnson were those two missionaries together.
Yes. And Johnson helped
the likelihood that the Johnson news store owner under lawsuit wouldn't call Ammon CEO and say, "Dude, we've got this really gnarly lawsuit."
And it's his franchise, so I don't know why that.
The likelihood's very low.
Yeah.
Because and Johnson calls him later.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what is this, Julia?
This is Matt. Do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is just how many people are like just piling on this guy as the cartoon villain, and he appeared. He made an appearance on a live broadcast by ACOB, a couple of brickheads. I think that's what it stands for, and people were just like, the more he talked, the more it turned people off. And another comment was, if you look in the upper left, people are saying, man, this guy has like shark eyes, like dead shark eyes. But in the picture on the right, it doesn't look like that. But that was just kind of a weird observation I saw in the comments.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about talking about people's appearances.
Yeah.
And plus, images can be manipulated too to make people look bad. So anyway, and by the way, audience, I'm not trying to defend bad behavior. I like to try and call balls and strikes, and I don't like, I never want anyone to get busted for defamation. And so I just try and make sense as fairly as possible of what I'm seeing. So anyway, that's why it's not that I'm trying to make excuses for bad behavior. All right, so what comes next, Julia?
Okay, so this is just a tiny little part that I'm like, pause the story for 1 second, because I feel like this is a tiny little Mormon kind of interesting topic. So if you go to the next slide. So at one point, Ben, he's trying to get in with an employee. Oh, here, I'll just talk for a second. He's trying to get in with an employee so that the employee can give him more information. So he's in his video, he's kind of being silly. He's like, I'm going to recruit this employee to my cult. And so he's like, there's 3 steps to somebody being brainwashed so that they can then join your cult. And so then he's kind of selects one of the employees, just this young woman who works there. And then if you want to throw up the slide, I just wanted to talk about this really fast because I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
So I've already explained all that to just learn more information. And he says, step 1 to brainwash somebody is to make the recruit feel like the most special person. And I feel like we can see this a lot in even Mormonism, where like you're making the most important decision of your life, being baptized, you're joining the one true church of God. And then the next step,
missionary love bombing, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, missionary love bombing, exactly.
Okay.
The second one is to give them power. And I don't know this specifically, so I had to look it up. But like, there's no time limit for when a man gets baptized for him to receive the Aaronic and Melchizedek priesthood. They can happen almost instantly. And so like they give men power right away. And this is the power to act in God's name is what the priesthood is. And then the third one is engage in group rituals, which in Mormonism, that's like the sacrament, the temple work, going through in endowments, and just there's a whole bunch of these rituals that we do. And so I just thought it was interesting. They were able to he's like, we successfully brainwashed this woman. Well, but he's kind of just being silly, but she was able to give them information. They showed her some of the pictures and she's like, oh yeah, that's in the store. That's in the store. She said, when my boss was on the phone, he was like, how can we get these guys arrested? And she was, giving them information that was helpful to them.
So
and then there's
Bricks and Minifigs employee in the Orem Kaiser.
In the Kaiser, in the Salem Kaiser place.
The Salem Kaiser,
Salem Kaiser office. Why is Ben describing himself as using cult tactics?
Yes, because he has experience with it.
He's just being silly.
Yeah, he's just being silly.
He's being silly, but I think he's subtly illustrating something and kind of getting a jab in.
Yeah. So this next clip is just an interesting. It's just a funny part that's been going around the internet. If we want to just play that clip, it should explain itself.
Okay.
Brick by brick, 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 brick by.
And now the employee is fully brainwashed. Okay, maybe not fully brainwashed, but we definitely did a much better job at brainwashing her than corporate Bricks and Minifigs did.
Yeah, brick by brick.
I wonder if that cape is like her garments now.
Oh.
So this is Reckless Ben just making cold jokes, basically.
Yeah, well, the woman did give them information, so
yeah, it worked. He got his inside spy, his informant.
And I'm gonna just say, and some people are saying, Julia, that we're getting an echo from your microphone. I don't know.
It's just all
maybe
of a sudden.
turn down your volume a little bit, or I can turn down my volume a little bit, because sometimes that can influence it.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
I think it was me.
Better?
Oh, how was it you?
Like I had a page. I must have had a YouTube page on in the background.
Okay. All right. Well, I just turned down my mic.
Let me know. Let me know if it's still.
Audience, let us know if there's still an echo going on. Okay.
Thank you, Trev.
It's kind of, if I had a company, I wouldn't want a YouTuber hiring my former employees. That feels pretty aggressive. I'm not saying it's wrong, but is that harassment? I don't know. What do we think about that?
Well, she had a great time. She was Queen Lego. They actually came in there and I did like some kind of competition, and she won. And they agreed to it. Like they said, yeah. He's like, I'm a YouTuber and we're going to do this. I think it was actually his buddy. It might have been Victor Nguyen, but it was one of his other on his team. He's got like a whole posse, Ben does. And she was like the winner, and like, you're the queen. You're the Lego queen for a day. And everybody was happy, and she had a ball. So
Yeah, I didn't really like that. I didn't really like that part either. But once his hat came off, and he was like, I think you guys have my collection, and she was like, oh, so she's not unintelligent. She knew what they were doing, and then she was able to like make the decision to tell them things. So like, it does sort of feel like but
yeah, it is. Yeah, but she goes, oh wow, that's not what they told me about the collection.
I mean, I can see why he would do it. And I'm also just going to say that would, I would feel really uncomfortable with the YouTuber finding a former employee and then hiring them to trash me on the internet.
Oh, no, she was a current employee.
A current employee, even worse.
Well, to trash, what do you mean to trash him? Because she was just giving some information.
Yeah.
I guess he was filming it. So I guess maybe you can count that as trash talking, but
maybe.
I mean, would it be, Julia, like someone hiring you to create a video to trash me while you're working for me?
I don't really like that, but like,
I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying if I were the owner, that would.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. If you were the owner, that would be really icky.
Now, if I was doing something really bad, then maybe some would argue I'd be deserving it, right? So
yeah, I guess. But
okay. All right.
Anyway,
here's the next slide.
Okay, so there's a couple of things we need to explain. Matt, do you want to explain any of these?
Yeah. So, so Ben kind of picked up the mantle, so to speak, for the Mansell family, and they realized they couldn't do like a full lawsuit for the 100,000 or 120,000, whatever it was, and they figured, well, wait a minute, if we break this down, we can take it to small claims. So Ben and 9 friends. They divided 100,000 into $10,000 shares, and there's this whole thing where they got loans, and they each bought a $10,000 piece, and that way they could go to small claims court in Oregon because it was under the limit, and they all filed suits, basically identical suits, and then waited for them to expire. The corporate they either didn't see it or thought it was a joke, and they actually won the default judgment. And the reason what they could do next was they held a lottery. They looked at the Oregon laws that said if you have like a nonprofit lottery, there is a statute on the books from stealing from a lottery. And so what they did was they said, well, you have to have a 501 504C or 503C, I forget what it is. But he's like, no problem. I have a church established called Scientology Sucks. And from his earlier videos when he infiltrated Scientology, he got like a legally registered church. And they held a raffle. They had a $1 entrance fee, which they charged everybody. And
which they gave everybody.
Yeah. But then they said, well, for appearing on our YouTube video, here's $1 appearance fee. So it didn't cost anybody anything. That was clever and funny. And they had the lottery, and a little kid won it. It was $1,000 Lego set. And they said, okay, well, go to the go to the Bricks and Minifigs and go collect your prize, because they were showing that we have ownership of this. And this is through paperwork. This is through Brian Mansell's paperwork saying, I own this, but it's in this store. That's where it physically resides. And so now the new owners could say, I own this chunk and this is where it resides. And so basically the kid shows up and they're like, we're not going to give it to you. This is bogus. This isn't real. And at the end, Ben gave the kid $1,000 out of their own pocket. But basically they now have a criminal case against BAM because they're basically holding stolen property.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're just being creative.
Yeah, so these are attempts to get the collection back. Yeah.
Yeah. All in an effort to get it back. And in this case, they wanted to make it like have some criminal weight to it, not just be a civil matter.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts on that, Julia?
No, I think these are really interesting cases, and like it was a really interesting way to see how he was attempting legally to get this collection back, and it fails every time that he attempts to do it.
Okay, so these efforts failed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then this next slide is kind of interesting, and I don't know if I know enough about this from my understanding of his video, but he opened up a store. So there's like different laws where you can have your tagline above or below your trademarked name. So he has the business name. If you go to the next slide, it shows it in a bigger picture. His business name is We Steal from Old People. But what he did is he put the Bricks and Minifig above it as his tagline. So it doesn't matter what order. And so he's just using it. So it looks just like obviously it's exactly like their trademarked image. And he was putting that on, he was printing all these big pages and he was putting it on the store. And even after, when he was able to, I think it was the 10 times to sue, whenever he was going to turn that in to the store was closed. And I think it hasn't been opened since. And he hung up this big poster with this Bricks and Minifig, We Steal from Old People, over the store. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
It was another legal way that he's trying to get this collection back.
Yeah. The what he hung over the one thing I could say maybe he did criminally was you could say he trespassed or whatever, but they hung the sign over the store because the people bailed, according to Ben, like when they went to go get the payment, because they said, hey, look, we won all the judgments, and they went to get payment. They showed up at the store. It was closed. So they put a sign that said, we took this old man's, we sued, they lost. Basically, I thought we maybe had a picture of that, maybe not, but it made the rounds. It was on like the local Salem news, this big banner that they unfurled over it. But it's just an example of how Ben is a master troller.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. And he's actually selling merch. He's actually selling.
That's a real website.
Yeah, and it's a hashtag now too. We steal from old people. Same with hashtag brick by brick.
That's pretty. If I'm owning corporate, that I would want to start, saying this feels defamatory, right? You're slandering us, you're smearing us, and this could harm our reputation materially, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's true, then they deserve it, maybe, right?
Well, from the very start, the comments have been, give the guy his effing Legos back.
Yeah.
Over and over. This all goes away.
Really quickly, Julia, people are still mentioning echo. I don't know if they're listening to.
Some of them said that they was okay.
You have
Not hearing the echo.
You have earbuds in?
I do, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hopefully they're.
I do know. I have noticed when we talk over each other, I can hear an echo. So maybe I can try to restrain myself.
I'll try not to interrupt. Okay.
Yeah.
I just interrupted. I'll try not to interrupt. Okay. Let's play the next clip.
Yeah. So this one's I thought this was an interesting clip, just talking about facts and evidence.
Okay, Julia, they're saying there's still an echo, so maybe try and turn down your volume if you can.
I kind of feel bad for the franchise owners here because it's like we are showing so much evidence of these things that are happening, and then corporate saying, hey, all this evidence, you can't believe it because we have the facts. We're not going to show you the facts, but we have the facts. And now as a franchise owner, you have to think, okay, do I believe the side with all the evidence and get fired? Because if they take our side with the evidence, then they get fired. Or do I just take the side that claims they have the facts but don't have the facts, and then this way I don't get fired? Yeah, so corporate's kind of putting all their franchises in a really bad situation right now.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, this is going to infect the entire company in very negative ways if they're not careful. That makes sense.
Yeah. So just a quick, the facts and evidence, just from a Mormon perspective, like I feel like the church would have wanted to say what facts were, but they weren't producing evidence to support those facts. And so that just made me think of that, where it's like one side saying, no, this is the right story. And then their story is sometimes changing. Whereas Ben's story has been consistent. And he's, like I said, he's been recording everything. He has body cameras. He has cameras everywhere. He's constantly filming himself, and he's constantly showing his receipts. And so like, I really appreciate that from him, because now we don't have to like trust what he's saying. We just watch the videos ourselves. And I guess editing, I guess, could be a thing, but.
Yeah. And there's people in the comments that are basically saying that the way that Bricks and Minifigs is behaving reminds them of how the Mormon church historically has behaved.
Absolutely.
By hiding evidence, destroying evidence, smearing people who are critics, being very litigious. Like if we're trying to be objective about who's acting like, ethically, who's not acting ethically, who's acting like a cult or like a Scientology or like a unethical organization. It seems like, and if you put the Mormon church and how it's behaved historically in one of those camps or the other, it could be argued that Bricks and Minifigs corporate is acting more like the Mormon church and Scientology at their worst. And that Reckless Ben and maybe even the former franchisees and the owners originally of the Lego set are all acting more ethically, speaking out against abuse and bringing receipts.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of me as an outsider. I see all these parallels. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, now the police get involved. Is that right?
Well, not yet. So he's going to go confront Brandon Best, because he was like, I just remembered that there's another store owner, and this one was, maybe we'll just play it and see what everybody thinks about this one.
Is this Utah?
Yeah, I think is he in Utah now? I feel like he's with Brandon Best.
Yeah, he goes to, so they eventually wind up like suing those guys personally, but I think this is something I'm not clear on, is whether they're just trying to approach them first and just talk, man to man.
So who's talking to who in this?
Well, hang on. In order to sue somebody, you have to show that you had a good faith effort to resolve this problem.
That's right.
So
he's talking to him first.
So he has to go to Best first and then try to resolve it, and then and he does the same thing with Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, Brandon Best is one of the new owners of the Oregon store.
Right.
Salem.
But they both live in Utah.
So the owners of the Oregon store live in Utah.
Yes.
So is this footage in Utah, not Oregon?
Yeah, he drove. I think he drove for 16 hours or something like that. He shows he filmed himself driving the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
From LA.
From wherever. Was he in Oregon?
Well,
at the time?
he keeps going back and forth.
Yeah, he's driving everywhere.
Yeah.
Because these police officers, do we know where they're from?
Yeah, these. So the thing is, I don't know. So this thumbnail could be a different part of it.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Got it.
But before going the hard way, I actually remembered that there's another owner of the store named Brandon Best. Brandon is the guy in the security camera footage that illegally kicked the first owner out of the store so he could steal all their Legos. I tried calling him, but I am also blocked.
I'm sorry.
The only option left is to show up to his house.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Hello? Hey, well, I was wondering if you'd be down to pay us for the lawsuit we won.
Okay, so when he says pay us for the lawsuit we won, he means what again?
It's
I
one of
think he's
those
talking about the
10
10.
suits.
The 10. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And it says, so Brandon didn't pay out even though he lost?
Yeah, that
Right.
he didn't get any money for that. But just the blank look on Brandon's face was
It's
kind-
eerie. It's creepy.
Yeah, and you heard the lawnmower.
So I decided to see if I could find.
He looks furious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never, I guess Ben stood, he said 30, 40 minutes, and the guy didn't say a word.
Dang, I forgot he
Yeah.
said that. Dang.
Okay, so he tried to reconcile this amicably.
Yeah.
Didn't work. So what's the next clip?
Yeah, so this next one, he's addressing. He's just found out. Reckless Ben has just found out that these guys are all Mormon.
Okay. All right. Let's play the clip.
So I decided to see if I could find Josh online to see if I could look up any more information about him.
Guys. Yeah, they all look the same. No.
Joshua Johnson.
Yeah, Joshua Johnson.
They lower their tax liabilities and minimize their exposure to lawsuits. That's hella ironic. Are you kidding me, dude? That's what he's known for, is reducing people's exposure to lawsuits.
After some more research, we found out that both Josh and Brandon are super hardcore Mormon, which was actually extremely surprising to me, because if Josh and Brandon are truly Mormons, they believe that stealing is wrong, and if they steal, they're going to go to hell.
Even he was surprised that they were Mormon.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's in Utah.
Meaning that his impression might have been that Mormons are good people
Probably, I would hope so.
and kind people.
Yeah.
All right. So now are the police getting involved, right?
So they're starting to. So in this next clip, this clip's a little bit longer because it's somebody else's reaction to it. But I think this person is a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken. Having this mindset that these men are Mormon, Ben's like, oh, maybe if I recruit a Mormon, then they can talk some sense into them, or speak Mormon to Mormon, and because this man swore on God that he would give the collection back, and things like that. And so he recruits this Mormon, and so that's what this next one is about.
All right.
And it's longer, so we can pause throughout it if we need to.
Oh, he finds a Mormon to go confront Ben.
Yes. Yes.
Some teenage kid, right?
Or Johnson. Is he confronting Johnson?
No. Yeah, he's going to talk to Johnson.
Okay.
His name is Christian Morgan.
I couldn't remember who. Yeah, Christian Morgan is his name.
Wait, Best and Johnson. Okay. The guy that he confronted, Brandon Best, that's the guy who was quiet and angry at the house, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Johnson is the other guy.
Right. And this is at Johnson's house this time.
Yeah.
Okay, different guy.
Yeah, different. Yeah.
Different owner of the Oregon store.
Something I guess we should say too is that Ben had tried to talk to Johnson himself and got trespassed.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if he put out a call through his social media, or he just went to a ward nearby, but he found a kid that was like, okay, yeah, I'll go talk to him. We're the same faith, and maybe I can get through to him.
Well, the kid, Morgan was in a Salt Lake ward, I think. So it wouldn't have been quite so local, but or I guess I don't know how far away that was, because they addressed that.
Now here's an interesting standpoint, like for me as an outsider, is like, and I might make this point later, is that why does it matter? The people, the never-Mos think it's like a mono block. They're all the same anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what ward. That's just kind of how the view of it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go and roll the clip. So this is Ben recruiting a Mormon kid to confront Johnson. Is that right?
Yes.
Correct.
On March 9th, Ben.
This is clearly established, a legal
somebody that was
guy.
a member of Johnson's church, and he was going to have that individual talk to Johnson about returning the Legos, especially since he's a God-fearing man.
My problem right now seems to be that Josh is never going to listen to anything I ever tell him. But if someone from his church heard this audio, maybe he would listen to them. So after finding exactly what church these guys go to, we went to it and showed one of the Mormons there this audio clip. And the Mormon thought that the best thing to do was to have a talk with Josh to save him from going to this outer darkness.
How's it going, sir? You gonna sit on down here for me first, sir? You got any form of ID on you?
No. I'm just here trying to talk to Brother Johnson.
Okay.
I'm in the outer second ward.
What's the relation?
There's an audio going around through our young men's group.
Yeah.
Brother
Can we pause for a sec?
Johnson taking advantage of some people.
Yeah.
I don't know if your audience, like your Never-Mo, knows what a young men's group is.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
And why would this be passed around? Is that what's up with that?
I mean, it could be just these kids all like to follow Reckless Ben, and so they know that there's a Utah and possibly Mormon related Lego story, and they all follow this guy, and so they're just talking about it. And
So
it could
would it actually be in a class?
What's that?
It wouldn't actually be like in a classroom or something like from a meeting?
Not as part of the Sunday school class, but it could just be kids talking about, did you see what happened with Reckless Ben? You know, that kind of.
So a young men's group is like just a loose group. It's not a specific.
No. It's just in a congregation or a ward during, let's just call it the second hour, like the 14 to 15-year-old boys or the 16 and 17-year-old boys or the 12 or the 13-year-old boys would meet as a class to do kind of Sunday school type stuff.
Right.
And in that class, they might be talking about.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I thought.
On the internet. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll go back.
Like how so?
So this guy donates his life savings in Legos to Bricks and Minifigs. It's like a resale store.
Okay.
I was just coming to discuss that with them. And then on the Ring doorbell, he said he'd be out in a minute, so I've just been waiting for him.
Okay. What's the audio that you wanted to play?
Yeah, I can show you.
I'm not going to screw you. You have my word. That's not who I am. I promise you. I swear to God.
Oh, I guess
that's him.
No, I know that. How did you get here?
I drove down here, and then I met up with Ben, like 5-ish minutes away. I think he's at an Airbnb. He just asked me to come confront him and get his side of the story on everything, you know.
Gotcha. And what was your plan exactly?
I was just gonna ask him, like, you know, is he willing to give up everything like he said, because he swore on everything, he swore on God. And if not, I was gonna confront his bishop about it.
Okay. So have you been drinking at all today?
Can we stop for a second?
Because I smell a little bit off your breath.
Yeah.
Now maybe if he the problem was swearing, if he had affirmed to God instead of swearing, right? Wow. I did a Mormon joke and it went right over it.
I don't know if that.
Not the clip to make a dad joke. Come on, brother.
No. One of the prophets said, well, we don't swear to anything, but I'll affirm to this.
That was not worth pausing the clip.
Sorry.
Okay. Really quick, is this a police officer talking to this?
Yeah, this is a body cam for American Fork Police. So this is where the police are starting to get involved.
Johnson's not even.
Or in the videos. Yeah.
Johnson's there. He called the cops.
But we're not hearing him in the audio clip.
No, he had been ringing the doorbell, and the police officer says, you were ringing it for 10 minutes and harassing him. And so then the police show up and they're talking to.
We did hear his voice from the phone. Now, interestingly, it was redacted. His voice, him saying, I swear to God and all this stuff was redacted. Ben had to put that back in to what was actually being played.
But Ben has it because of his phone call.
Right.
Yeah.
And we just heard the policeman say, do I smell alcohol on your breath?
Yes. And this was something I asked Julie about. Is that like a real insult to a Mormon youth?
It would offend me as a youth if somebody asked me that. And I'd be
but what it suggests is they're trying to create some sort of pretext to allow them to do something else later. This is where things for me start going.
Well, and then we see that, foreshadowing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the policeman is already trying to manipulate a potential participant in this case in a way that that likely, I mean, unless the police officer really smelt alcohol, but I doubt it, right?
I doubt it too. I don't.
Yeah. So anyway, pay attention, crowd, because this comes up later. No more dad jokes.
Sorry.
So, God, I'm not drinking this at all. I don't drink it. So what am I smelling then? Okay.
So him fishing for the alcohol, remember that. That's important later.
Boss, so you're there for about 10 minutes on ring camera, kind of asking for him and all that kind of stuff after he's saying he doesn't want to answer you and stuff like that.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Honestly, I couldn't hear the audio coming out. I thought he said he was coming.
Okay. So he has asked you to be trespassed. So what ward are you from?
Technically, I'm from the Crystal Heights First Ward. It's in Salt Lake.
You're asking questions about a whole other ward from a whole different city, from a whole different individual, about a whole different bishop.
Well, because he said he swore on God and he swore on everything he has that he wasn't trying to take advantage of this person, I said, okay, that's fine. I just wanted to clear it up with you, just so I don't have to go to Bishop Providence.
And Schneider. Okay. So he sent you today, correct? Asked you to be a third-party liaison with him. Okay. So he was trespassed from this residence yesterday. He was using you, third party, to console. That's ending you up in the same trouble that he's in now.
I was unaware. I didn't know he was trespassed.
Probably not best to be a tool for someone else. Well, this isn't Salt Lake County. This is Utah County. We do things differently down here. So if I wanted to, I could push things. Once you trespass from the property, which means you cannot return. If you do, you will be arrested for criminal trespassing and booked into the Utah County Jail.
So Ben put together this idea that maybe it was Mormon cops who were protecting their own. It could be true.
This might be a crazy ask, but could you take a selfie with me?
Okay, just a couple quick reactions. First of all, there's a lot of comments right now about those being dirty cops. I thought it was weird the cops were asking him what his real ward was.
Why does it matter?
Why would cops care what ward the kid's in?
Yeah. Also,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, do cops maybe Utah cops know the lingo of Mormons, like to say bishop and ward and things like that? Like, they seem like they could very well easily be Mormon.
Yeah.
And then I think they say the line twice. They say it again to Ben's friend, where he's like, "We do things differently here. You're from Cali." He's like, "Well, we do things differently," and so like, and they just said that here. So.
Yeah, that was, and it'll be played again later. But that's kind of disturbing. This idea we do things differently here. Also, it just seems like the cops are fishing to try and gather evidence to get Ben in trouble. Is that what y'all felt?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they've already got Ben on the radar.
Now, I'm just trying to think about it from their perspective. Like, Ben's an outsider. Are they thinking? Are they like in the pocket of the Bricks and Minifigs guy, or are they just not liking an outsider coming in, a YouTuber causing hassle or stress in the community? Were they briefed by the Bricks and Minifigs guy ahead of time and said, this Reckless Ben guy is causing trouble? Can you help us frame him? Like, I've got questions.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think? What did you think?
Well, in some of the video, in some of the body cam, some of them are, it's Johnson who's re-explaining the situation. So it sounds like they are coming at this kind of blind. But maybe they did know. Maybe some of them did know. I don't know.
He keeps, like, Johnson keeps feeding him stuff, and you could tell he's like really upset. And I would argue it's because he knows he's in trouble. And some of the things he says, I think, are beyond, like, he's making up these threats that aren't really, it's not really a threat. This is just a goofball coming up to him. And they're overselling it and making it sound worse than it is.
Mm-hmm.
But
go ahead.
But the questions of maybe are the cops treating the Ben this way because he's not a member, or maybe just because he's from Cali.
I mean, in theory, the cop should be neutral. Is this kid a minor? Because if this kid's a minor, I'm disturbed as a dad. I wouldn't want some YouTuber recruiting my son into potentially illegal behavior. Because I'm imagining at some point the kid is like, holy crap, what did I get myself into? The cops are now involved and I could get in trouble. And then the kid asks for a selfie, which makes me not so sure how afraid the kid is. But do we know if the kid was a minor?
I'm pretty sure he's like 18 or 19. This is just based on what the cops are saying later. They're kind of describing ages of people they've talked to. I don't think they just in the chief of police might actually give his age too, but I'm inferring he's like 19 because while they're talking, there's like, yeah, one of them was 19, one of them was 23, and I'm just assuming that.
I'm talking about the kid that was just in that video.
Yeah,
is it Christian Morgan?
Cops,
Is that?
Yeah, because the cops just Christian he walks off. He's going to get in Ben's car. That's what's coming up next, and he sees the cops are still following, and he runs away.
Okay, because if the kid is 19, I don't think he's in young men's. I think he's when you're young men's traditionally end when you're a senior in high school, and then once you go on your mission, you get ordained an elder, and that's when you're 18 now in the church traditionally. And so once you're 18 or above, I don't think you're hanging out in young men's anymore, which is why I asked the question about him being a minor.
I just Googled it. His age wasn't disclosed. I don't think the chief of police does say his age, but he does say that he left the scene and nobody attempted to reach out to him or anything like that.
So
Somebody
didn't do anything illegal.
Oh, okay.
If the kid is 22, then why is he talking about being in young men's?
Could it be a story that Ben gave him to say? I'm just
Ben
curious.
wouldn't know that. Ben wouldn't have a story like that. He would have come up with himself. And apparently, I guess he did do some little fibbing here and there when the cops first asked him. So that might be part of a cover.
Well, do we want to be fair and say we don't like dishonesty on either side, or would it be unpopular to call Ben out on that?
Well, I don't think it's there's also other things. He's a YouTuber and he is an entertainer, and so he could try. Like one of the things that's brought up later by the chief of police is he's sending packages of ducks, of these rubber ducks, and that Johnson didn't like that, or somebody impersonated a FedEx employee, and so like that's shady. Nobody should be doing that. But also like what is entertainment? Like, I don't know. There's just like different levels.
They were trying to approach him just to talk to him. And that was just the guys to approach him. And it was extra trolly that it was a box of ducks.
I mean, I get that Ben's an entertainer, and I get that this stuff is fun for him and for other people. And I'm not trying to be moralistic, even like what my actual feelings are. Again, like a ref, I'm just trying to call balls and strikes. If that kid's a minor, I have a problem with it. It sounds like he's not. But then if he's not, then they're lying about him likely finding the video as a young man, because he wouldn't be 22 and be sharing a video with young men. So anyway, questions.
Yeah.
All right. So now the police get involved. Do you want to set this up, Julia?
Yeah. So this next one, this is just so there's different parts that are like worth talking about. And so this first one is one of the reasons for the first vehicle stop, because the police seem to always be, as soon as he gets to Utah, the police seem to always be trying to stop Ben. And so this is one of the first stops that they make.
Okay. All right. Now this is where it gets disturbing for me. So this is called first vehicle stop, fishing for reasons to arrest. And it's troubling. All right. I'll play the clip.
Can't we just have him pick his friend up, and they're probably...
So these are police officers sitting in their car talking from one car while they're looking at a police officer talking to the car they pulled over ahead, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
I'm gonna make sure.
Got tired of dealing with the police at this point? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was gonna scare him a little bit and let him go is all I really was gonna do. But.
So the initial purpose of the stop, the initial Terry detention, if you will, was to investigate the relationship between Morgan and Ben. Well, Morgan is gone. He spoke to Ben. Ben said, yeah, we don't really know the guy. So what information do they really have to go on at this point? They don't have any information. Instead, the officer turned the detention into a scenario where he's like, you know what? We're going to scare them a little bit and then let them go. That's not a lawful stop. And at this point, the stop has already been going on for at least 10 minutes. They collected their IDs. They know exactly who they are. What is the purpose of the stop? So to me, this already is turning into a clear-cut Fourth Amendment violation that, based on the information available right now, should overcome the qualified immunity defense. Let's keep watching.
Because how many are in the car?
Huh?
How many are in the car?
2 are in the car. One in the back seat, and then Tyler in the front seat. And wherever freaking this guy's hiding.
So are they trying to just pick him up and get out of here, or do we have charges, or are we just tired of them being annoying?
I was going to try to link it to get Ben to say, like, because he said that Ben sent him.
Yeah.
So if I can get Ben to say, yeah, well, I did tell him to go over there and do that, then I have harassment charges on Ben. But also at the same time, I don't care that much. It's more of just the fact that they're trying to be sneaky about it.
So the cop wants to keep them detained so he can get Ben to make some kind of confession. Guess what? The officer would not have even considered this if Ben just said lawyer immediately and was not willing to talk at all. But now the cops are starting to game plan to figure out, if we just keep them there long enough, we'll get them to say what we want them to say. And that's in line with, they already say that they're annoying. They don't care as much, but they don't like that they're being sneaky. Well, guess what? Being annoying and being sneaky is not against the law.
Yeah, like this was really troubling. Why would cops be trying to fish for ways to get Ben in trouble? Like, yeah, Ben's being sketchy or Ben's up to mischief. Yes, he's an outsider, but is it ever a cop's job to try and almost entrap or trick or manipulate someone into self-incriminating? I don't even know if I'm using the right words, but that felt gross to me.
Yeah.
It happens over and over in these videos that they're just trying to find something. And like there'll be one cop and they'll be like, some of them like, oh, why are we doing this? What? Now what?
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear them talk with each other.
Julie, what were you thinking or feeling? What's your reaction?
Just where he's like, I don't really care the reason why, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just,
we're just going to get them.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea. I live in the state. I just don't like the idea that there are cops out there who have an agenda and they're trying to manipulate people into doing something wrong.
Well, and you'll see that in the other clips. They're trying to get them to confess to something that they're not guilty of.
Yeah. I should credit the YouTube channel that we're pulling these clips from is called Clearly Established. Yes. And it looks like it's a lawyer who's analyzing the American Fork Police Department's behavior. And he does a really great job. So shout out to Clearly Established.
Absolutely. All of the big legal YouTube guys have been weighing in. And you can find all kinds of content. It's big.
Yeah. Okay. So this next one is where they actually do a drug search.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to say anything I want to say before we show the clip? Because this is disturbing.
I feel like we can just show it.
Okay. All right. Let's play it.
So the original stop was at 7:18 p.m. We are now at 7:32 p.m. And the officer has made clear that he was probably going to let them go, but he wanted to scare them first. And the reason, again, was because they're annoying, they're sneaky, and he's just now representing, the harassment code, this doesn't meet that definition. I'm probably going to let them go. But he doesn't let them go. So we have here, even if the initial stop might be lawful, the prolonging of the stop can be unreasonable, and that prolonging without any lawful basis is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. So what do they do next?
You say anything or no? Oh, he's texting me far away.
I don't think his radio works. Anything weird? Got anything weird?
Say
He popped a gum that I was coming around to talk to him. So his eyes kind of look a little
Were you aware that when you decide to chew a piece of gum in front of an officer, that you lose your Fourth Amendment rights? Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either.
Yeah, I saw it in the other one, so I'm not surprised that they were doing it as a group.
How old are they all?
They're all underage.
Just try to get right in his face.
They're 19 and 23.
See if he'll look at your finger.
Do what you do? Hey, look at me. Yeah, we could ask him because you smelled it on the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, conjointly, if he's drinking, this guy's probably the one that purchased it for them.
They probably all are.
Right?
Stretch much?
If I
just get in close to him. I mean, without getting in his car, but
yeah. Good luck, go. At the furry tail.
I'm interested to know if that's code for something involving strategy with the narcotics dog. I don't really know, but it's such an odd thing to say, especially at that point in the conversation. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that area. Is there an area called Furry Tail? Because it just stuck out as odd to me.
Okay. I'll talk to the driver again and see if I see something, and then can you just make the passenger find an ID because I can't find it anymore.
If you're wondering why there's no audio, it's because either this officer muted his camera or the version that the police produced omitted the audio. So we don't really understand what happened here other than what we can see, and it's that they gave Tyler a series of tests. And obviously, he was never charged or arrested with anything from this event, so he must have passed, which was consistent with their discussion that they didn't really observe anything. They speculated.
Just for your information, I'm Officer Cron. I'm a K9 officer. Officer Hawkins had asked that I ran my dog around your vehicle to an open area. Open snow, right? Yeah.
So it doesn't sound good. Stop letting these cops get away with what they're doing. Okay, so maybe Tyler almost seemed to consent.
Okay, I'm going to pause. I want to process what we've seen so far. So for those who don't know, the Fourth Amendment is, it was added as the number 4 amendment to the U.S. Constitution back in the, 1780s. It's clearly a result of the British government, using unethical law enforcement tactics or behaviors on the colonists, right? It was important enough then that they made it number 4 in the Constitution. Unreasonable search and seizure. You can't just break into someone's home and search and turn everything over or whatever, or you got to do things like get a warrant and have probable cause and those sorts of things. I don't know the law. I'm not a lawyer, but clearly the Fourth Amendment's important, or it wouldn't be an amendment to the Constitution. And so they're detaining these kids. It's nighttime now, and they're like, "Well, did you see anything weird?" "Oh, I don't know. He popped some gum." His eyes looked a little glossy. And then it's like, "Oh, you smelled alcohol." It's like they're trying to create a story that maybe the older guys bought alcohol, for the kids that would be under 21?
Yeah, for Morgan. For Christian Morgan.
And then all of a sudden the audio's redacted. So they're literally censoring audio. I guess they would claim maybe it was to protect the kids. I don't know, but it just seems super sketchy. What's your reaction, Matt? And then I want to hear yours, Julie.
They like for the redaction, they say, well, we did this because to protect names or there was an address or something. But later on, when we do hear what's said, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
They are just looking for anything. And you were talking about the time and it's dark. I think based on clearly established, he was looking at the time thing, and like they were there for at least an hour and a half, something like that.
Somebody writes 3 hours in the comments. 3 hours.
Was that this stop or was it a different
second stop? The second stop was 3 hours. This one was like an hour and 15, hour and a half, from what I recall. And it really should just been a couple of minutes.
Yeah, what did they do? What did they do to deserve this stop?
Yeah, so if I'm getting this correct, so the boy, Christian Morgan, this Mormon boy, or not minor, I don't know how old he is. He shows up at the guy's house, Johnson, and the police says, "You smell like alcohol," and he's like, "No, I haven't been drinking." There's no evidence that this boy has been drinking, just something that the officer says he smells, and then they pull these guys over and do this huge search without evidence. Like there's no bottles, there's no alcohol. I don't know. Like the guy pops gum and he's like, "There's evidence that." It just seems really silly.
Call out
to
the
me.
canine.
Yeah, is that this one or is that the next one?
No, the dog's here.
Oh, he's here. Okay,
we're about to go
dogs twice.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did the American Force Police Department press release guy that shares his video later? Didn't he say that originally they were stopped for running a stop sign or running a red light or something?
That was a different one.
Okay.
They've been stopped like
stopped
6
so
10
many
times.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry I don't have all the facts.
Oh, you're good.
I'm learning this along with y'all. So I'm just trying to understand why they were stopped at all. So do we know why this stop happened?
Because they saw Christian Morgan walking towards the car. And they're like, okay, let's, I mean, it was just the logic, the reach. It's like, so what? He's getting in their car.
Okay. Yeah,
But he actually ran away when he got to because he saw the cops showing up. And so he ran off and the cops let him go.
This is super sketchy on the part of the American Fork Police Department. All right, let's keep playing because this is when he pulls the dog out, right?
Or agreed to the dog to go around the vehicle. So that would almost stop what ended up happening with the prolonged seizure, because at this point, does it now turn into a consensual encounter? That is where there could be some legal discrepancies, something to look into. But what I do know is from the time they determined that there was no crime earlier in the night to the time that they prolonged it up to that point is still a Fourth Amendment seizure. So I'm not too concerned about that. But what's interesting here is they've already removed the other individuals from the vehicle, and now they have this dog going around the vehicle, not once, not twice, but a couple of times before the dog finally alerts. So it would be interesting to me in discovery to see, how is this dog trained? Is it trained, for example, that if they were to go around an object a number of times, that they automatically alert? Was there some kind of signal or something that this officer gave? It's really hard to see without that information. And more importantly, something to get in discovery is going to be every time that this specific dog was involved in a search, how often when that dog hit, was it accurate? Could show whether or not it was actually reasonable for these officers to rely on that dog hitting. Of course, they proceed to search the vehicle and they find nothing whatsoever. So in the end, everyone was free to go.
So really quickly, there's some comments that I think are worth playing because there's people that know this case maybe even definitely better than me. But I just wanted to share a couple things. So let's see. Okay, so I'll go to the start. Okay. Chris Richter 642 says stop sign was first stop. Second was with Christian Morgan. The second stop was with the drug search. And so August Thompson 3964 says this is the second stop. So thank you, viewers and listeners. FC Baker writes, this is literally harassment. They're wasting their time and money. And then Sourpuss Candy writes, they can cue the dog to make a false positive. And they're going to go on to talk about that. And then, Tammy Cam 8759 writes, Ben was just on Latter-day Saints. I'm a never-mo, and I hoped you would do this. So, just so everyone's clear, like, some people are mad that I don't have all the details straight. There's no way I had time to prepare for this. That's why I got Julia and Matt here as well. But also, what we're trying to do is make the Mormon people aware of this story. And so we're going over stuff that most of you already know. One, to give a Mormon reaction to it, but two, we've got to explain this stuff to the world of Mormons who have no idea that any of this is going on, because we're not followers of Reckless Ben or Lego geeks like Matt. And so for those of you who are angry or frustrated or impatient with my lack of knowledge or with how we're covering this slowly, it's because we're trying to give the context necessary to make this a big deal in Utah and with Mormons, because none of the people listening to this podcast who are regular listeners have any idea that any of this is going on. Is that fair?
Yeah. I also want to say, we would love to have Reckless Ben on here. I hope it's okay to speak for you. Like, I've reached out, asked him to come on here, so hopefully he'll respond. So
yeah, totally. And I emailed him, so hopefully he'll get back.
That would be sick.
Matt and Julia, did y'all have any other reactions to this video?
I don't think so. The dog thing is really interesting because like circling 3 times and then giving a cue. So I don't know.
It's the second stop, but the first with the dogs, as far as I know. But yeah, thanks for getting that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that's.
But anyways,
it's unreasonable and it's ridiculous and it's unethical, and I hope that I hope there's some type of repercussions for the police. Yeah. Okay, should we go to the next clip?
Was that all of that clip?
Oh, did we not finish?
I don't remember.
I think we finished it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this next one is the hair. I think this next one is this would be the third stop, which is the drug stop. I'm not mistaken. I feel like he's stopped all the time, so it's hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah. Okay, so this clip is entitled "Heroin in the Car."
Yeah.
So it says vehicle stop 2, heroin in the car.
It might be vehicle.
Yeah, it should be stop 3.
I think it's the second one that's pertaining to drugs.
Okay. All right.
But anyways, back to us. The police apparently got a call that we had heroin on us.
This officer is going to conduct a search of your person because there are illegal substances in the vehicle. Really? So he's going to do that. I'm going to put this away, and then we'll be right. Don't reach in your pockets. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Like this, the vehicle will be searched. Okay. I'm going to have you stick by with my sergeant.
After 2 hours of searching the car, obviously they found no drugs.
So he didn't find anything.
I explained to the police that we didn't have drugs, and the reality of the situation is that Bricks Minifigs is so desperate at this point that they're willing to do anything to get us arrested so they don't have to pay for the property they stole. And the police was arguing back with just some of the worst comebacks I've ever heard, which is why I think the police actually redacted this audio in this clip, because if they kept the audio in, then the world would get to see how stupid the American Fork Police Department is.
Okay.
So here we see the tie back in with the Law-Gorman. Is it Gorman Law? I can never remember. Where
Law-Gorman.
they use the Law-Gorman of having heroin. So this is just like a reoccurring theme with Johnson, I guess. Is it Johnson? I think it's Johnson.
Here's the thing is, unless now, because this thing keeps unfolding, Julie and I are looking at this and I'm like, oh my God, did you see this came in? Did you see this came in? So I'm not sure. But what something I did want to say about the last stop was Tyler, that Ben has said he's not a Mormon, but he's straight edge. He's a straight edge, which means he doesn't do drugs, doesn't do alcohol. And he's like, I took a Tylenol 2 months ago. But anyway, he said, test me. He's like basically saying, I'll take any drug test you want. But they still, yeah. So, what I was going to say is, unless unredacted videos have come out that have been, as far as I know, none of the 911 calls have been released. So we don't know. We're assuming it's Johnson is calling. And
I see.
Yeah. But as far as I know, we don't publicly know who is calling in saying these guys have heroin. Okay. People are dying to get the 911 tapes. Maybe the audience knows.
So are we thinking that Josh or Brandon or Ammon or Matt planted the idea of heroin with the police?
Yeah, told them. Someone like dropped a dime, a bogus reason to shake them down and to stop them, and that's my take on it.
It's also interesting that the same drug is claimed for both for Chrys and then for Ben. I wonder if I don't know.
That's like an MO. And some people have even said, "Oh, he doc protests too much. Maybe he's involved with the heroin trade somehow. Why does he keep bringing up heroin?"
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
weird,
it's just the one.
But I think it's just a hassle. I think it's just a way to mess with Ben and try to find something. But
like I've
to
been
me,
out of
that's
the
illegal.
church. I've been out of the church for several years now, and I still get confused which drugs are which. And so I'm constantly clarifying if that's ever the discussion. So like maybe this is just something that's like, oh, I know that this is a thing. I don't know. I'm just
It's a
curious about why
serious, heavy narcotic that's very illegal, and usually people are on it are gone. I mean, they're desperate. It's bad. It's a bad thing. It's not it's not aspirin. It's a serious controlled substance.
Well, there's so many. We have excellent commenters that are making comments right now. But I'm just going to play. I'm going to play some of the clips because, or some of the comments, just because they're really interesting. So one commenter very early on, DVD Crockett, says that the grandfather is dying.
Yes.
I mean, that's super sad. That's the original owner of the Legos, right?
Yes, and Brian, apparently the father didn't know. He was keeping it from him because they thought it would kill him if they told him.
Yeah. Wicked Smot 74 says the Elko Temple looks like a Lego temple. This is Elko, Nevada, I'm assuming. I picture little Lego people with their Lego temple bags. Donald Rodriguez 717 writes, the police lied to get a warrant to raid Ben's home. We'll be getting to that soon. This is something. Sean Murray 9964 says, you missed Ben's footage where the cop says, is your name Ben, even before he talked to the driver. What does that imply, Matt?
They've got his number. They know who he is. And that's really creepy. They walk up. They don't even ask the driver. He's in the back seat. Ben is in the back seat. He's like,
they around the driver.
Ben?
Yeah.
So you said they got his number. You mean they knew his name before they stopped?
They knew his name.
So
And they obviously got it from, I think they already had it. They already had it from Josh, but then they reaffirmed that when they talked to Christian Morgan.
Okay.
Because it was right. Yeah. That was right before it.
Okay.
And just to be clear, there's hours of footage with this. And so we were just trying to pick the ones that are the most important. So yes, we did miss this, but there's just so much.
And there's the unredacted and the redacted and the combination where they combine. Like it's crazy. Gordo 6366 writes, can't wait for the upcoming Lego American Fork Police Department set. That's funny. I included that because it's funny. Patrick O writes, the CEO took over the store and gave it to his friend to steal Legos. So that's the allegation that a viewer is making. This is what happened. So it's a fact, no matter how much the CEO wants to lie. So what a listener or viewer is alleging is that the CEO is in on this and that he literally had his friends take over the Oregon store to steal. And that's an allegation. I don't think any of us really know if that's true, but that's someone's opinion. Word Nick A619 says we're doing a great job of explaining this and trying to be unbiased and fair. So thank you for the affirmation. This is where it gets scary, being a lawful citizen. That's what I'm concerned about. Another viewer writes, Ben's watching on the spoof account, so he's in the chat. Man, if you're watching, we would love to hear from you. We'll have you join our StreamYard, and you can join us live.
That would be so fun.
Also, we've invited you to be on the show.
It would be sick.
Susan McDonald writes, I've lost all respect for Mormonism, and that's what the church needs. The church needs to clean up its act. If there are corrupt police departments in Utah, they've got to realize that this is not a good look, and that it just is not going to be good for the church's already horrible reputation if it starts getting around that Utah police departments are corrupt by faithful, active BYU attending Mormon cops. So anyway, August Thompson writes, I've been watching everything to do with this since it dropped. I'm trying to help clear stuff up. It's a lot of craziness. Y'all are doing great. Other people are saying nice things. Someone writes, this is the second time someone got looked at for heroin involving this case. Neither incident revealed anything. Isn't that a false report? Should the cops go after those who called in?
I think so. I think making a known false report, yeah, that's got to be illegal. Of course, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know Utah law, but it seemed common sense that you can't do that. I mean, it's like swatting in a way, you know.
What does that term mean, swatting?
It's like calling 911, making some real bad thing is happening, and bringing like cops in full force onto someone.
Okay, we're gonna cover that in a second. Brandy Willis writes, when cops want an excuse, they will manufacture one in way too many cases. I don't want to be anti-cop, by the way. My dad was a cop. I love first responders. I generally love and value. I'm not a cancel the police type of guy. I'm glad that we have law enforcement in this country, and I'm aware that there can be really bad abuses, but I do not want to be hating on law enforcement. That's not my position. Although I want everyone to be honest and ethical, cops included. Dopin says these cops are ironically stalking and harassing. And that's interesting because they're claiming to be trying to prosecute stalking and harassing, but it could look to some like they're actually doing the stalking and harassing. And we did get a super chat from Cynthia N9W just because, but also John, watch Ben's videos tomorrow. They're very, very entertaining. I will totally.
You got to watch them all.
They're so funny. Like my kid was even joining. She was, they're really good.
His editor's great. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
Mark of Ages writes, CEO Ammon did report to the officer that Ben threatened to kill people in the second phone call. What is the legality of this level of false reporting? And we do have a clip coming up of that.
Well, I don't. Did it say Ben was threatening? Because in one of his other videos, Ben says that they were saying they were making false reports that Ben was threatening somebody in their lives. So we've got two things going on here.
Yeah,
one of the.
So we share clips of threats being made to Ben, but not the other way around. But Ben has said that those have been circulating too.
I don't believe that Ben was threatening to kill.
I don't either.
Yeah.
No, but that's part of the claim is that he did.
And then it's been said that Josh Johnson was directly text messaging with multiple officers. That would be so troubling if true. And court records will show that. So I hope this goes to court.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. All right. So let's go to the next clip where they replay this We Play Differently here.
Yeah.
Do you want to set this up, Julia?
Well, they just repeat it again in a different circumstance. So that's just weird to me.
Oh, this is a second time?
I think they say it again, right?
Oh my
Maybe you should play it, but I think this is again.
This is dark. Yeah. Okay, let's play it.
Yeah, and you could end up in jail in Utah when you're from Cali. Okay. Not worth it, right? Yeah. We play differently here. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm willing to cooperate with you guys.
What the
So
heck?
the first time he says it to Christian Morgan, and now he's saying it to, I can't remember this friend's name.
Tyler.
Is it Tyler? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And no, it doesn't make sense.
Is that like we break the law here? Like, what's he saying? We're abusive here? What does he mean by we play differently here? We follow the rules more? Like, what's implied?
Just that we're in charge and what we say goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, here's where it gets really, really disturbing. And is this what we mean by swatting when we talk about Ben getting arrested?
I don't. Is this the time where he gets arrested at the
If
Airbnb?
we're
Or
going
is it
to-
different
if we're
time?
going
He
to the
gets
Airbnb,
arrested.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe go ahead and play it, and then we can.
He was Ben actually was arrested twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think it's the first time.
All right. Let's see why.
Then, you guessed it, we got the police called on us again.
Oh, sure. The
For
paper? The serving paper?
Yeah.
Here you go. Well,
They think it's a false case? What the heck?
thank you for holding. How can I help you?
Trying to speak with someone to verify
if a case is, just verify if a case is real.
Yeah, looks like a real small claims case in our court.
Okay, thank you for your help. That's all. Thank you.
I think this phone call was the breaking point for the police.
Oh, he's rubbing his chin.
The police couldn't handle the fact that I was right and they were wrong.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna find you back. Am I being arrested?
We're under arrest right now.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, that was totally bogus. So he put a sign. He was trying to. By this point, he's trying to serve papers because he said, "I've done my good faith effort to try to work it out. Didn't work. So now I'm serving this civil suit, and he's following what the law says on how to serve it. He can't get Johnson to get out of the house." So he puts a sign in the public right of way that says, "I stole this dying man's stole his money," basically, and to taunt him, to try to taunt Johnson to come out. But it's like within his First Amendment to put the sign up. But when they arrested him, they actually had the permission of the property owner to hang a bigger banner on the fence saying the same thing. I stole this dying man's last $100,000, and that's when they prompted. And I still don't understand this. He's like, because he hung this sign.
Was it a
And I'm like-
GoFundMe though? Was that the I'm sorry.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a lot of
there's-
players.
Oh,
Was it the
that's right.
GoFundMe sign over the fence? I can't remember.
That might have been
everything.
it. That
Maybe
might have
people
been
can
it.
clarify in the
Yeah,
comments.
because it was like he's like over a GoFundMe. And I'm like, so what's
Yeah.
illegal about that? Why can't you have a GoFundMe? And
But
why
I think
can't
at
you-
this, but I feel like at this point he's got this woman to serve these papers or to help him serve. They go and verify that it's a real case. And I don't think this has to do with the signs yet, or if that's already happened or whatever. But I can't remember. But
the
that's
arrest was over the sign.
oh, okay. But they pull him out of the car, right? It's just wild to me that they verify that this is a real thing and then they arrest him. He says he didn't know the
That
reason
was like
why,
a
I think.
lead up. That was like a lead up to it.
Okay.
Howdy 49er says the only legitimate charge they have against Ben is residential picketing.
Yeah.
Everything else is
It's kind of an obscure thing, and that's I think that's on iffy legal grounds too.
Yeah. This whole thing is wild.
okay. All right, so that's disturbing. There were a couple comments that I thought were worth
Sure.
sharing. That people are interpreting what we do things differently here means. Clancy Knott says it means we make up our own laws here. Brandy Willis says that's a threat, John. So basically she's saying we do things differently here was a threat. Patrick O says if you hear we play differently here or we don't do that here, you are about to be criminalized by that cop. That's another opinion. Tammy Cam says deep dive. Ammon and Matthew McNeff sued Daniel McNeff, their dad, to take over legally Mine LLC allegedly. So that's basically just saying, I guess, that the McNeff brothers are suing their own. No, Matthew McNeff is suing his own dad. So it's a litigious family. Is that what it's saying?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
Ammon and Matthew are suing Daniel, the dad.
Okay, Ammon and Matthew. So the sons are suing the dad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
They think it's legally theirs.
yeah. All right. Play the next clip.
Yeah. So this one, he's talking about how he's now figuring out that the police are members of the church.
Okay.
And this call was from Brian, the collector's son, who got all their stuff stolen. And he has a theory of what might be going on here.
Yeah, the cops down there are definitely all in with the Mormon community, and being the Bricks Minifigs is part of that and worth millions. I would not doubt that they have donated hefty sums to the Mormon church, of which all the cops are probably a part of.
Yeah, Brandon Best, Joshua Johnson, and Ammon, the CEO, are all super Mormon. Like the CEO even went to the Mormon University. And when I looked up all the police officers who were treating me unfairly, they were all Mormon too.
And they take care of their own, man. They are like a huge clan that takes care of each other.
I mean, yeah, there's truth to that. If this is a $100 million plus company, that would mean that the executives have paid a lot of money to the church. And I would also say it is in the church's interest, the Mormon church's interest in Utah, to have as many police officers be faithful Mormons as possible. Just because there's so much abuse here, child abuse, and other types of corruption, they want as much influence with law enforcement as they could possibly have. So,
it just occurred to me too that the LDS might be upset at this guy for tanking his company because they're losing their 10% of that.
I don't know. That might be a stretch, but I mean, it is true that we would take care of our own, and it is true that these police officers could be buddy with some of these guys, and they're kind of scratching each other's back as members of the insider club. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's this slide about, Julia?
So these ones are, Matt, do you want to talk about these ones?
Yeah, these are like some of the incendiary titles and thumbnails that are coming out. This one says, how Lego taught the world to hate Mormons again, and how their response, I don't even know what the rest of it is. And the other one says, Reckless Ben exposes massive Mormon mafia and police corruption.
So this is just bad press the church is getting. How about these? What about
these? Are all comments from different YouTube videos that I've been watching as part of the research, and not, there's a lot of comments. Now I will say, I think they're not as prevalent now, but maybe it's because it's more in the legal realm. But over and over, you see Mormon mafia, Mormon conspiracy.
Cartel, yeah.
Yeah. It isn't just the police. The entire system is run by a Mormon cartel who all look out for each other. It's been an open secret for years. And this one talks about that they're running a mafia system. And there's more we can, and I don't mean to, I guess I don't want to offend Mormon folks, but I just wanted to show that these are kind of like, you see these statements, why are they protecting these thieves? The answer is Mormon mafia. And I just see these type of comments in all these videos across. So they're this whole, how the corporation, how the police have been acting has really reflected poorly on Mormons in general. And I just think the folks in the Mormon sphere need to understand that that this is what's going on, and it's a really bad look.
Another commenter says, now it's out in the open that a cult controls the police force. Insane over some plastic blocks. Get the children away from these people. Like, I don't know. Okay, there's more. People no longer trust BAM Mormons or the American Fork Police Department. Mormons are corrupt. The entire history is steeped in corruption. Mormons plus police plus corporation equals RICO case. Like, I don't know. To some extent, this is probably overblown, but there's also maybe something to it. Like,
I think that's an outsider's perception.
Yeah.
There's a lot of comment, not all of them, of course, but there's a lot of that in there. And there's a real, to me, this is a bigger scandal than others in recent memories as far as tarnishing the name or tarnishing the organization.
Yeah, whether or not this is fair.
That's my opinion.
This is
whether or not it's fair, that's what's going. That's what I see in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next clip is probably the one that I find the most disturbing about the videos being redacted, and Ben calls them out on it.
All right, let's play it.
So I called up the police station to find out why.
All the redactions are done pursuant to the Utah State Code. We don't redact things just because we feel like it or, just because something looks funny. Everything is redacted pursuant to Utah State Code. And other than that, I can't really delve into any more detail.
But the police made a mistake. They accidentally forgot to mute this police officer's audio. So when you sync the two clips together, I can actually hear what they're saying here.
He sees it or get back? Is it an occasional crime? Is it disorderly conduct? Why? Is he upset about it? I mean, I guess, but that's not
Yeah, this police officer is right. Just because this might make Josh upset does not make this poster illegal. So I decided to let the police department know that some of the redactions they made aren't exactly what they're claiming they are.
I think you guys might have accidentally forgot to redact another clip that was at the same time. And when I synced the two clips together, I was able to see what they were saying, like what the redaction was. And he was talking about how what we're doing actually isn't illegal and how the police officer might be wrong. And so it wasn't about protecting a victim. It wasn't any personal information. And so I was wondering, it seems like there might be a lot of stuff like that got redacted, maybe to protect the police officers, not to protect the victims, if that makes sense. And so...
yeah, we don't do that. So like I said, anything that's redacted is pursuant to Utah State Code.
I can tell because when I sync the two clips together, I'm actually able to see that that's what the redaction was.
Okay, well, that didn't happen.
That definitely didn't happen.
No, I don't do that, Ben. I follow the Utah State Code, like I just said.
Okay.
I don't know. It seems like the police department redacted this entire conversation because right here, the police are actually admitting to themselves that none of this is illegal, but they're still going to try to arrest us anyways. It seems like the only reason they're getting rid of this audio is to protect the police officers from getting fired.
Julia, tell us what was so disturbing about that.
Well, that definitely didn't happen, Ben. Like, just it's so. He's showing us the footage. We've got the video of the police officers. We've got the audio clipped in. Like, we can see that's what he's saying. Like, that you can see his mouth. It's all lining up, and like she's just like, that didn't happen. Like, I don't know. It's just really frustrating.
I mean, it could be she doesn't believe that they would do that. You know what I mean?
But she's also saying, I don't do that. Is she the one editing these things?
Oh.
Because she
said I.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
She's the one who was editing?
That's what it sounds like. Because she's saying, I don't do that.
And it's really clear in that clip that Ben unredacted basically that one of the officers was saying what you're doing isn't right, in effect.
Yeah.
And the other officer is trying to fish for reasons to arrest him, right?
I feel like this happens to Ben all the time, though. He confronts, like, this is the law. This is how it works. He brings the Oregon law book, and he's like, this is how it works. And he's constantly being told, no, it's not. No, it's not. Like, this didn't happen. Or like, it's just really frustrating seeing all this play out.
And he just calls people on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is super disturbing, that clip.
For me, it's, and again, as an outsider and just looking at church history and everything, this is like classic gaslighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never did a thing. We never said we'd cut our necks. We never, what I think you've said it on your show, what was an anti-Mormon lie is now in the Gospel Topics essay buried in a footnote somewhere.
Yeah.
We didn't do that.
Yeah. So we have such great viewers. So August E. Thompson writes, and now that the unredacted body cam footage has been released, we know that's what happened. The PD is claiming that all redactions were specifically at the request of the DA, the district attorney.
Wow.
The DA meaning the district attorney?
Maybe she can clarify.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with this next video, these are my if we're ready to move on. Or if
Here's a question. Ryan Blair Rigby writes, I want to know how the heck Ben got the unredacted videos. He describes the leaked body cam footage origins by saying someone hacked into AFPD. Seems unlikely.
Big question.
Yeah, big question. What is he just saying that, or how did he get it? Was there maybe he he's got someone else in his Lego cult on the American Force.
Oh, he does say that.
Here's another one. Ammon Mormon is actively suing Brian while saying he wants to make Brian whole. How do Mormons square this? Julia?
I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. I just found out that he's suing him, Brian Mansell.
He's saying, I'm willing to let Brian out of the suit, but he's not going to let Ben or any other 15, they call him.
What is he? Did he? I didn't find the lawsuit, but
statement.
what is Ammon suing him for? Is it for defamation? Is it? I don't understand what.
I don't know.
Maybe someone
Word,
can clear it.
Nick says the AFPD confirmed they themselves accidentally leaked them. I'm not joking. So
If you have a source for that, can you leave that
Yeah, I'd
in
love to
the
see it.
comments? Okay, so this next.
somebody put this is so fun to get this stuff real time. Somebody writes AFPD put the Dropbox link in their email. They downloaded the unredacted files before they deleted it. Oops.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Wow. This is all. Isn't it crazy? People are feeding us real time.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's awesome.
All right, what's the next clip?
Okay, so this one is my edits. So I took Ben's video and I just clipped every single time that he's presented with redacted video. So this is just a compilation of these little clips.
All right, let's play it.
And the police was arguing back with just some of the worst comebacks I've ever heard, which is why I think the police actually redacted this audio in this clip, because if they kept the audio in, then the world would get to see how stupid the American Fork Police Department is. And then the police department illegally redacted this conversation too. My guess is that they acknowledge that it's very obvious we don't have drugs on us, but they were going to try and pressure us into giving some type of false confession anyways. Sadly, we can't see the police officer serve Josh because the police department redacted all of it. And then for the rest of this footage, the police redacted all of the audio. Anyways, the cops probably felt pretty stupid when they searched our entire house and didn't find any stolen Legos. Again, the police illegally redacted this conversation to avoid them looking stupid, but I'm pretty sure that's what they were talking about.
We'll also be able to hear Josh's side of the story because I think he's said a lot of lies to you guys.
It'll be, and I never talked to Josh, but it'll be documented in the report as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
But the detective was lying. The police have illegally redacted every single claim Josh has made about me. And when I finally go to court, I'm going to be completely blind to what I'm even being charged for.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So Ben's going to be going to court?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's got several court cases. His first one is July 1st.
I mean, that could be a international news spectacle if this keeps growing, right?
I thought Julia was based. I didn't realize she was based near the Garden of Eden, and I thought she was in Utah. Also, I said, get your press credentials now because it's going to be a circus, and there's going to be like busloads of Ben fans are going to be at the Utah County Courthouse.
Maybe we can have some listeners sitting in or something.
If the police officers in the state are smart, they'll drop these charges.
Yeah.
Right?
The person who said that they were redacted due to the DA, that is just another chill up my spine.
Yeah.
If the DA is behind that.
Yeah. Well, because that would be corrupt.
Yeah. There's just another level. There's another level of corrupt, because we haven't even talked about the judges yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do the next clip, shall we?
Yeah.
This is where Josh claims Ben stole the Legos.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting. Ben stole the Legos. All right. Let's hear this.
But I had no clue that it was about to get way worse.
American Fork Police Department, make yourself known. Search warrant. Stand up. Step outside, everybody. Come on.
No. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that. Okay?
Yeah, this cop pulled my arm so far back, it dislocated my shoulder. He claims it's because I was attempting to make an escape or something.
Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that. Don't move quick. Everybody just chill.
But if we go back a little bit, you can see I was being completely still when he grabbed me, and I actually made 0 quick movements. So this police officer is just straight up lying so he can give me a serious injury.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
Yes. The police department got an official warrant to search our house for stolen Legos. I should have seen this coming. Josh did threaten me in the last video that if I go out and actually try to sue him, he's going to come out and say that I'm the one that stole the Legos.
Okay, let's do it.
Fuck you, man. You stole them, bitch.
I stole the Legos?
Yeah, you're a fucking thief.
Dang. Okay.
You can shut the fuck up. That's your fucking choice.
Oh my God.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit just to give you guys some context, but I actually got a copy of this warrant. The reason they were searching our house was it says there is now certain property or evidence described as any stolen merchandise, specifically Lego merchandise. It's evidence of illegal conduct on us that we stole the Legos.
So much is disturbing there. The fact that they're swatting this guy for Legos with guns drawn, like a SWAT team breaking into his house. The fact that they're dislocating his shoulder when he was just being.
I will say, Ben says in another video that he had been in I don't know if he was like on a zip line or something.
He was skiing.
Oh, I thought it was on a zip.
Well,
okay.
he's busted his shoulder a bunch of times.
He's put his right shoulder out.
So it's easily dislocatable.
So he says for normal people this probably wouldn't have dislocated their shoulder, but for him it did. And yeah, so he wanted to.
There still was some force, right?
Well, there must have been.
The other issue.
Yeah.
The other issue was the cop said, "Oh, you made a sudden move. You lunged."
I did not see a sudden move there.
No. The other. There's a lot of aspects with this Airbnb. One that is super duper creepy is that in the affidavit to get the search warrant, the Airbnb owner says they overheard Ben and his people talking about stolen Lego. And people are like, does this guy have cameras in this thing? Or is this guy like the $6 million man? And Julie, I know I'm being an old guy again, but does he have like supersonic hearing somehow? People are creeped out, or they just say, well, that's just a lie. Or what, but and this is wrong to get a guy to swear to this. And we'll also get to it, the fact that I guess it was according to some legal people, it was a search warrant. There was no arrest. It was not supposed to be an arrest. It was just to seize evidence, basically.
Yeah. Also, I want to talk about his language. This is Josh's phone call
Not
where he's
Mormon.
like, wow.
Not Mormon.
Yeah, super not Mormon to say all of the things that he was saying. Like,
I mean, I guess Mormons are humans too, and there's some Mormons that swear and some that don't. But I mean, if these guys are active, faithful Mormons, you shouldn't be lying and falsely accusing people of stuff. You certainly shouldn't be swearing like that. I know I didn't when I was a faithful Mormon.
but also to just turn around and say, well, you stole them. Like there's nothing to base that on. It just seems so silly.
No.
And then to have the cops just believe that.
Yeah.
And then to SWAT the guy, and then to dislocate his shoulder.
Guns drawn.
Yeah. For guns drawn, is that
Guns drawn over Lego.
Yeah. It's outrageous. That's why this thing is blowing up.
Like I am terrified to go into Utah County right now a little bit.
Yeah.
That's another comment you see all the time. Utah sucks. Utah's off my bucket list, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Tip for Tools says it seems like two separate warrants were filed. One was for arrest of Ben due to sending someone else for stalking. Second was due to mention Airbnb owner mentioning stolen Legos.
That could be, there could be two warrants.
Yeah. But this is just creepy and scary. Anything else you want to say about that?
No, I think that was good. I just wild at how the stories keep kind of changing from the CEO and the BAM side.
Yeah, the fact that somehow they must have gotten the American Police Department must have gotten a warrant to be able to SWAT this guy with guns drawn and basically break into his house.
And a judge signed it.
How would a judge have signed such a fake, spurious allegation?
I don't know.
Did he do any harm?
Yeah.
I think. Well, go ahead.
They just took. I mean, it could just be they just took this guy's side. No matter whatever he says, he has some standing in the community. He's an owner. He's a business.
Well, and we'll talk about that too in these next slides because I'm really curious about what everyone else thinks about what this chief of police is saying.
All right. Let's show. This is the American Fork Police Department YouTube page.
They have one video.
The
video
subscribers.
Yeah, it was. So the video was published on May 29th of 2026, and I looked at the description, and it says like when they joined, and I think that means like when this was created, the YouTube thing. And it happened. They joined YouTuber. They created this April 23rd of 2026, which was just, I don't know if they created it so that they could release this video. I don't know when all the timing happens, but like this is just the one video that they have.
Okay, yeah. So this is it, and we're just gonna. What is this clip?
So this is just a little clip of him explaining one of the portions of this, and I just want you to listen.
So the whole clip is how long? The whole
this
video?
This is a 26-minute video.
Okay, and you're just playing a clip, and you want people to listen to his tonal vote?
Yes.
Voice? Okay. All right, let's listen to it.
Johnson claimed that
it's soft.
The volume is turned up, by the way.
Business partner, personally responsible under the agreement. Mr. Johnson also reported there were Lego sets believed to belong to Mansell that remained at the store. According to Johnson, they offered to return those items, but Mansell refused and continued demanding compensation. Mr. Johnson alleged that Mansell had hired Benjamin Snyder to harass, stalk, vandalize the store, threaten to murder the manager of the store.
Now, Julie, everyone's complaining that they can't hear it, but I think you were trying to make
the point
with that.
So I am seeing people saying like, oh, this is like general conference voice, or this is ASMR, or like this is how loud it is. Like I had to download it because I was getting frustrated because I couldn't hear. I had to download it and crank up the sound. So in these next clips I show, I have cranked up the sound, but that's just so interesting to me. A lot of people have commented on it. Even Ben did a reaction video, and he even had to say, I'm not trying to mock this. I'm just sick. Because he was speaking in a softer tone as well.
Yeah,
I just wanted to point that out.
Somebody said Mormon Stories needs an audio engineer. Julia played that soft intentionally.
Yeah, I did that intentionally.
We should warn people next time ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
So that they know. Anyway, what's the summary of the video, Julia?
So of the 26, I guess I can go through them each point. This isn't everything that he talks about in the 26 minutes. But one of the things he says, Johnson believed that Ben was sending individuals to his home to harass him in the form of rubber ducks. He says that he didn't like that this box of rubber ducks was sent. Ben and his friends were pulled over for not stopping fully at a stop sign. They denied any involvement in delivering the package. So they did deny it at first. They were trespassed from Johnson's property. Another day, Johnson reported that another male, this is the young Mormon kid Christian Morgan, showed up at his house to harass him, and he was issued a trespass warning. And so he's just ringing the doorbell. He's just waiting at the door. And one officer said that they believed Ben's friend was on drugs because his eyes were glossy. After a 3-hour search, no illegal substance was found. Ben later admitted that he had sent Morgan, so he's admitting this, to Johnson's house, and later admitted to sending the package of ducks. Johnson's wife reported that a woman with a fake wig, that was really curly wig, was taking photos of the house and expressed concern. Johnson said he was going to shoot someone if this harassment continued. Ben was arrested twice for stalking. Another one of Ben's friends was attempting to destroy evidence on his phone, when in reality the friend was just trying to put the lock screen on. The owner of the Airbnb claimed that Ben had stolen the Lego and had them in the residence. One police reported that Ben had tensed his arm and grabbed him. Ben later claimed that his shoulder was dislocated, but the image on the screen that we saw showed that it had an L on it. And Ben says, this is just a stock image. I just grabbed a random image because I got arrested. He's like, I'm not going to show my x-ray on there. They were like, oh, maybe he's faking this injury because it's the wrong arm. So that was an interesting thing. And then they said Ben was arrested again for stalking charges. So this is just kind of the summary of all the things that this police chief was saying.
Ben said, of course, that's not my x-ray. They didn't take me to the hospital. I was in jail.
Yeah.
So he just used the stock footage of his x-ray, and literally the American Fork Police Department is claiming fraud.
Yeah, but he was like, I think better of my listeners that they would just assume that this is a stock photo.
That's weak. That's such a weak argument. So Matt, what's your overall assessment of the summary of this video that Julia just gave?
Yeah, it's catching a lot of the lies or the misinformation. Either the chief was misinformed, or he's backing his guys too hard, or he's just flat out lying. That's different. The different views of it, but because you can see, basically Ben has the receipts to say, nope, that's not right. That's not right. And that's not right. And it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the chief of police.
Yeah.
Julia, what was most troublesome to you?
I don't know. The parentheses, I put a lot of my own thoughts in the parentheses here, but and we'll talk about this again, but he says that this chief of police is saying this. I think it's Johnson. I keep getting their names confused. Johnson is saying, I will shoot someone if they keep coming to my house. Like,
Yeah.
and then you arrest Ben? Like
you
this,
arrest Ben.
where does this make sense?
Yeah. All right, let's play. So what is this next clip? This is your audio
Yeah,
correct.
so I just corrected it. He just gives, so basically the 26, it seems like the main focus of this 26-minute video is stalking. Is like this is a nuisance. He's just stalking and harassing. So this is just the main piece of it that I have corrected the audio for.
All right, so we'll play a little bit of his audible voice.
While officers were speaking with the involved parties, a sign was also located on the park strip across from Mr. Johnson's residence. The sign depicted Mr. Johnson holding U.S. currency in both hands while standing in front of an elderly man lying in a hospital bed. The sign contained the statement, "I stole a dying man's life savings." Snyder admitted he had placed the sign earlier that day. Officer Sumbot advised Snyder that, based on the ongoing conduct being reported and observed, officers believed his actions were approaching the statutory elements of stalking under Utah law. An individual commits stalking if the individual intentionally or knowingly engages in a course of conduct directed at a specific individual. Based on the totality of the known facts at the time, officers established probable cause that Snyder had committed the offenses of stalking and targeted residential picketing under Utah law. Snyder was subsequently arrested and transported to the Utah County Jail.
I mean,
I recognize that people are frustrated, angry, and may feel that justice has not been served in relation to
I feel
those
like it's
allegations.
done.
Okay. So
Maybe
I don't like to make fun of people for stuff that they can't control. So on the one hand, it's not in my values to like make fun of the guy for his voice. So I don't want to jump on that bandwagon per se, unless, and I'll say I've never heard a cop talk like that before. I've never heard a cop talk like this before. And it does remind you of like Mormon general authorities and kind of Mormon voice.
Yes.
Also, for those who are just listening, this is just a man, a chief of police in his uniform, and he's at a pulpit, and the background is completely white. I don't know if that's normal. I've never seen something like that before. It just seems kind of weird, but that's just what for visual reference.
In the
Go ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say in the videos when his video was first released, and I heard it was so soft. Of course, I'm patting myself on the back, and I'm in the comments like going, I think that I was calling it Mormon voice. I think this is Mormon voice. It's a thing. I think he's talking in this low kind of this cadence, this low steady cadence, and it's like to try to show some kind of calmness or authority.
So that's as an outsider, as a never-Mormon, as a non-Utahn, that voice struck you as odd.
Yeah, absolutely. People are like, this is creepy, and people commentators they didn't get it. They couldn't understand. They're like, and we've got clips of that. I don't know if we can show it, but there's some pretty funny reactions of going.
I think we may skip those because they're pretty savage, and I don't love being savage on the podcast, making fun of people. But
I think it was a misunderstanding.
We are getting a lot of comments. Fundy voice, meaning fundamentalist voice. That's kind of Warren Jeff's voice. Anyway, it does feel like a weird, creepy voice. Again, if it's his real voice, I don't want to make fun of him, but it was odd. That's my balls and strikes. Yeah. Did you?
So my question is when I heard that, because I'm like, am I the only one who's hearing this? And is this a thing? And I'd asked Julie about it, and because people they're not understanding otherwise. It just to anybody on the outside, it's absolutely just sounds creepy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play a little bit of. This is Ben reacting to the chief, but it's actually some other YouTuber reacting to Ben reacting to the chief. Is that right?
It's another legal guy, Bailey of the Runkle.
Okay. All right. So I am interested to hear what Ben thinks about it. Let me go ahead and add the footage really quick.
However, to do that,
we are first required to serve him court papers. So we did what the law told us to do. I got a process server, and we went to his house to do this the legal way. However, Josh did not want to do this the legal way, and instead called the police on us.
Joshua Johnson contacted police and reported he was going to shoot someone as a result of the ongoing harassment. Multiple officers immediately responded to the area.
Josh was so scared of going to court that he would rather shoot us than accept these court papers. Josh's logic here is that if he can murder the process server and if he can murder me, then he can get away with his crimes.
So the audio's not great. So I'm just going to cut that one, Julie, because the audio's not adjusted well enough. It was too soft.
Sure, yeah, that one was really quiet. I don't know why that one was so
want to
quiet.
summarize what just got said? Basically that he threatened, Josh threatened to murder or to shoot Ben. Is that right?
Yeah, but there was another part of that where the chief of police with the white background, he was saying he was served papers on a certain day that it hadn't, because he says he's a time traveler. Matt, do you want to explain I can't remember the exact timings of all of this.
Yeah, I think I forget if we had 2 clips, but yeah, Ben is like, he's hilarious. He's like, too bad that murder is illegal. and then later he says, well, the date they're trying to say that on March 10th this thing happened, but in reality it's March 13th. So I know the answer to that. It's because Josh is a time traveler, and he's just great at he's pointing out the inconsistencies and the baloney and what's being said, and he's doing it in a really funny way.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the takeaway there is that the cops are getting the facts wrong, and that the cops should be busting Josh for threatening to kill.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
And that he's got proof to say these guys, what the chief of police is saying is not correct, and I've got the receipts to show it's not.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, so this next clip is that this was a weird clip, that the Airbnb owner had a connection with the American Police Department. Yeah.
Hopefully the sound is good.
Yeah.
Do you remember we were doing Hydra with the guy with the Deagle? Huh? Remember when we did Hydra with the guy with the Desert Eagle? Yeah. This is his Airbnb. He's in my truck right now. Really? Isn't that so horrible? Yeah. And I told people that. He was like, what the fuck? That's so funny. Detectives are going to have Orem come and look at these guys to see, because they have video surveillance of all their guys. So we'll keep them on ice until we can start stripping resources. But it sounds like the other shifts rolled in. They're starting to take calls.
Which is good.
Okay. We'll make sure everything's cleared up. It was great. And the fact that they were coming out when we were walking up. The main kid had his phone recording, so I shut it off. But
the other kid had a GoPro. We're out of here.
So on the one hand, I would expect in a small town for people to know each other. Police officers have friends too. And so what's the big deal that the Airbnb guy knew and worked with the police officers? So on the one hand, isn't that just small town stuff? Is that a scandal? Is that even Mormon?
That people just are saying, yep, that's all part of the cabal. But I think it's because the Airbnb guy, supposedly he's attesting to Ben saying he has stolen Lego, and the cops, it just seems too close.
Also, if I have a question, if the Airbnb man, if the person is calling the police officers and saying that he's overheard or he's seen these Legos or whatever he says, why is he in the cop's car? Like, I would assume that this is just a call that they don't really have to have more conversation with this individual. But I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that he was in the police officer's truck.
Yeah, I hadn't caught that the owner was actually in the truck. That's something I had missed. Something that this footage doesn't say is he mentioned Orem and Provo, but actually earlier he's saying Orem, Provo, and Sandy PDs, they're all talking to each other because Ben or his people had been visiting those shops. So they're on the radar with all these cities and they're all talking to each other.
I don't know how odd that is for neighboring towns to be in communication.
Yeah, and I don't know how close they are. The other thing,
it's just small town stuff. Honestly.
The other thing about this video is that at the end, how he's talking about basically quashing their ability to record anything. Yeah, I snatched that kid's.
Oh yeah.
I snatched his phone, and this other kid, I got his GoPro. You know, and I'm like, wow, okay, that seems like, you know, I don't know. Again, I don't know what law enforcement, if that's standard, you know, to get people to surrender that, but it just didn't come off very good.
Tresab writes, you cut off the part when cop says, oops, shouldn't have said that. Other cop said something like, what if those douchebags stole the Lego?
No, I didn't. Yeah, we should have.
It was a long clip.
Yeah. And then did you want to explain Hydra, Matt?
Yeah. So in the comments, people was like, what is Hydra? Now, I found that it's like just a police activity, like a simulation and like a high stress thing, like maybe you're doing like a school shooter type of deal. Or it's interesting that Utah, the National Guard has a thing called Hydra. They're just trying to see the connections. And some people even said, well, maybe they're saying hydro, and there's a thing called you dip your guns, hydro dipping. I don't know what it is, but people they're trying to draw connections because they're like, what is he talking about when he says, you remember that guy from Hydra? And there's just speculation about what the connection is, how they do know each other.
So kind of paramilitary kind of stuff?
Possibly, yeah. Or they're shooting buddies because there's a Desert Eagle and people going, why does somebody have a Desert Eagle?
Okay. Yeah. What is this saying, Julia?
This next one is a comment that was left on this man's this clearly established video. Somebody says the Airbnb owner is a principal at a local school, and like all others involved, was a graduate of BYU. And then they kind of dox this person, and I don't want to do that, so I remove those parts. But they're saying that they are a member of the church, and so.
And again, this is Utah. It's Utah County. Most everyone's Mormon, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Yeah, it was just interesting to note the connection with the police officer.
For sure. Okay, so Joshua Johnson makes threats. Should we play this clip?
I think we should, yes.
Okay.
It's the legal way, and instead called the police on us.
Joshua Johnson contacted police and reported he was going to shoot someone as a result of the ongoing harassment. Multiple officers immediately responded to the area.
Josh was so scared of going to court that he would rather shoot us than accept these court papers. Josh's logic here is that if he can murder the process server and if he can murder me, then he can get away with his crimes because there'll be no one to sue him in court. However, sadly for Josh, murder is illegal.
Okay, yeah, we covered that already.
I just still think it's interesting because like it still doesn't make sense to me. And then they're saying later that Ben was making threats to the store manager.
Right, guys. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Keep going.
I just think that's really interesting that they just kind of turn the story around and trying. Oh, Ben is the one threatening to kill us or to kill people.
Yeah.
Whereas we have this police chief saying that this is the case. So this is an episode that I found that I guess Matt, you shared with me. Where he's discussing this is Ammon McNeff is on this podcast. I don't know. I should have grabbed the name of the podcast.
It's ACOB.
Oh, okay.
ACOB, a couple of brickheads.
So he's addressing the Mormon Mafia. So these two individuals at the top of the screen are part of the channel. They're not Bricks and Minifig at all. Then you have Ammon at the bottom.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not going to touch on this is being pulled into it too. So I'm just going to say, and Brent, you tell me your thoughts. I don't want to speak for you, but we're not going to get into, I don't think, religious pieces here at all. I'm not comfortable with it. And I understand why you guys might want to do that. And so I will say though, just that being said, publicly, like Brent and I are not more, they asked us to confirm this isn't some big conspiracy. We are not Mormon. I know, but people are saying that. So it's like, we have no connection. This is the first time Ammon and I have ever talked, period. We have no connection to it. So I did want to answer that. And that's the only time I'm going to touch on that because I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that.
And I know I'm not here to pontificate, too much, but I gotta tell you, like some of the messages that I've seen that have been sent to me, I find it pretty difficult how bigoted and like hateful a lot of people can be.
Right.
We have franchisees from all walks of life in our franchise system that we love dearly, and we want them to be just as safe as anybody else who might be LDS. Who
are whatever they. Yeah, I'm with you.
Right.
I would like to zoom past, but I did want to say, like, again, there are no American Fork Police ties that anybody's going to find. Correct? That ties to LDS or.
I mean, look, the state of Utah is 50 to 60% LDS. That doesn't.
Is it 1,000%?
The state of
I haven't.
Louisiana is 50 to 60% Catholic.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that everyone that's Catholic, like does everything that the Catholics want. Like just because X, Y, Z. Like people look for. It's confirmation bias. They just look for things that they want to believe, and then they find every proof and evidence under the sun to try and make whatever they want to believe accurate. And it's just not the case. People will need to go outside and touch grass a little bit more often, I think.
I mean, I'm mixed on this point. I think on the one hand, it is very easy for people that don't like Mormons or outsiders, people that love, Ben or whatever, to just fill in all the holes and assume there's this really big grand conspiracy. So it'd be easy to overestimate the conspiracy that may or may not be going on here. And it's also very possible that there is a coordinated effort, and there seems to be some evidence that there is. So I don't know if any of us really know how coordinated this conspiracy really is with law enforcement. What do y'all think?
It just feels like to me that I don't know of any instance where the American Fork Police sided with Ben. I feel like it's all leaned in Bam's favor. So I just am curious about that. I just feel like that shouldn't be happening.
Oh, that's true.
For me, the takeaway from that is so they invited Ammon on, and the people in the comments were going, why aren't you pushing back on this guy? Why aren't you challenging him? And then people were saying, you must be part of the Mormon conspiracy. Prove to us that you are not Mormon. That's what was going on. That's why they felt he's like, okay, I've got to address this. And I'm like, wow. The assumption from the viewers was, well, obviously, if he's backing this guy, if he's not pushing at him at all, he's part of the same conspiracy. Ergo, these guys are Mormons too. And I'm like, wow, this is wild.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one is just showing where I got my next source. And if you guys wanted to see more of these unredacted videos from the police,
wow.
Go here.
It's Bam Sucks, Bricks and Minifigs Sucks, and it's got almost 12,000 subscribers.
Yeah. And so that's, if you want to go and see these videos, you just
Matt,
go here.
Has that been going on a long time, Matt? That YouTube channel, or is that brand new?
That I don't know. I'm guessing it just popped up.
Here, let me check. Because it can show you the.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. Because people have been talking about how they've been ripped off before this, and so maybe it is a thing. I have to say, I've never personally done business with any Bricks and Minifigs location.
It says joined August of 2024, so it's been around for a little while. I'm assuming that it's gone up in views lately.
This next segment's disturbing. Go ahead, Julia.
Yeah, no, just the police acknowledging. I think you should just play it. It's just an unredacted part of the police.
Again, one of the two owners of the Oregon store, right?
This is Josh. Yep.
We're able to see a lot, actually. The footage starts with me going to Josh's house so I can serve him his legal court papers. Josh knows that if he goes to court with me, he's going to lose. So instead, a much easier option is he calls the police on me to prevent me from serving him.
His name is Ben Schneider. He's stalking my house. Will you come to my house, please, and come get them? I'm not going to have stalkers.
Are they there right now?
They're on the side of the house.
One of the dispatchers made a note here saying that you were going to shoot someone.
I'm done with this. Officer, can you please help me and my family and make this stop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is, go ahead, Julia.
Oh, no, you can go first.
So this is going to be about, isn't this partly about whether or not the case that Ben, tries to get the police to act on was legitimate or not, right?
Yeah, and there's more clips that follow along with this too.
You just play the next one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Have you looked at the papers? I've talked to the Kaiser Police Department. There's nothing filed. So no, I'm not accepting service from him. Okay. Absolutely not. It's fake. Okay. It's not real.
That's completely fine. You have that right.
Yeah.
So he's lying because we do know that it's a legitimate, filing.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to not accept service? I thought you have to accept service when somebody serves you.
Well, what Ben was saying is he kind of replays this. He's like, it takes you 3 seconds. All you have to do is legally say, like, this is for you, like, you have been served. And they can choose to drop it on the ground or not really accept it. But I think there has to be some kind of like face-to-face communication. I'm not sure how the law works exactly.
Well, he's completely lying to the police with video recording, you know? Yeah.
So apparently Ben or his server can't get close enough to they're calling the cops on him before they can approach the house is the deal. But I've wondered though, something I've always wondered about is maybe because they've been fooled before, because Ben is like done stuff and they're like, these are fake papers, this isn't a real case. And he might genuinely think it's bogus. And he's just getting, you know, that's a possibility. But the threats and all that's overblown. I think he's lying about that. He's just, in my opinion, he's just nervous about getting caught.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep playing.
Hold on. All right. What are you wanting done today? Besides, obviously, talk to
as much as you humanly possibly can.
I can screen charges. I'm open to screening charges through our attorney. I'm gonna go talk with him, give him this paper back, since you do not want this.
Can I peek at it?
What was that?
Can I peek at it?
It kind of puts me in a little bit
All
of
right,
a bind.
never mind. It's fake. There's no lawsuit in it.
Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna give this back to him and trespasser.
Because here's the thing. Like, think about this logically. Do you think the process server would show up with a guy that's been harassing a YouTuber to serve papers in Utah? They sent a lady in, and the lady's like, "Oh, I'm going to murder you," to Amanda, the manager. He called the store 1 billion times, threatened the employees.
What just happened there?
Okay, so he's trying to serve him the papers, and he's like, "These are fake." He's like, "But can I have a peek?" Which is really interesting to me because he's like, then the police is like, "Oh, I don't think I should give this to you because that puts me in a bind." But then he's saying this is all fake. This woman is impersonating a process server. And if you just go to the next slide, Ben points this out too.
That's so dirty. It's like I don't want to accept service, but can I have a peek?
Can I have a peek?
Right.
Yeah.
Something should be said about the cop too, about serving. So the cops in this thing, where in the different jurisdictions, they have been pretty much clueless. And he's like, while he's talking to Ben, he's like, well, maybe I can bring the papers to him. And Ben's like, yeah, that's great. Now, a police department, they don't, from what I understand from the legal things I've seen, is they do not have a duty to serve papers. That's purely at the discretion of whatever the officer or whatever their department policy is. Now, typically a sheriff's department, they serve papers, but a regular city policeman, that's just not a thing. And so, but when he said, well, maybe I can give him the papers, Ben's like, yeah, that's great. I just need you to sign these papers saying you did the serve. And he's like, he keeps going, okay, now it's done. It's done. And it never happens because the cop comes back and says, no, he doesn't want them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a clueless cop as far as how serving works.
Yeah. So if you just throw up the next slide, I want to just read it. Okay, so this is from Serve Now, this website, and it says, become a Utah process server. Requirements to become a process server in Utah. And this is kind of small writing, so forgive me. Process servers in the state of Utah are not required to be licensed. These summons and complaint may be served in Utah or any other state or territory of the United States by the sheriff or constables or by the deputy of either, by a United States Marshal or by the Marshal's deputy, or by any other person 18 years of age or older at the time of service and not a party to the action or a party's attorney. So it's 3 simple things. You have to be 18 years or older. You have to not be affiliated with the party, which he had just met this woman earlier that day. And then she wasn't anybody's attorney. So him saying that this is a fake, yeah, it's all fine. This is all totally fine. So him saying this is a fake process server, she should be arrested. This is silly. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of people in the comments saying that's not a thing to opt to receive or not to receive. Because I don't know. I've never heard that before, I guess. August E. Thompson writes, if a law officer takes the papers and says he will give them to him, he is putting himself in a bind by refusing to give him the papers when he asks for a peek. This is a good comment. Gordo writes, can I peek at it? Yes, of course. Just hand it to him and he's served.
Real.
Anyway, what did you want to summarize from that slide, Julia?
Just this woman met all those requirements. She handed them the ID. She showed that she was older than 18. She's not affiliated with the party. Even Johnson, he's like, I don't recognize this person, and he was recognizing his friends. And like, anyway, so just not a party to this, and then not anybody's attorney. So like,
yeah, what a disaster. All right, and this clip's just unreal. Let's play that clip.
Bang. But anyways, the police officer ends up going back to talk to Josh.
They're screening some charges, okay? Yeah. But we're just kind of working through. It looks like this is a real case. It just hasn't gone to court, okay?
It's a real case. Who's it against?
Against you, him versus you.
Ben Snyder?
Mm-hmm.
What an idiot.
So,
he's just racking up the charges, and we're working together.
So basically, the consensus is we were all wrong here. However, let's just arrest Ben anyways.
Like, letting them go cannot be an option here, guys. Like, there's got to be something for cyber stalking, bullying, like all of the different things. Like, there's got to be something to arrest them and send a message that this is not appropriate. This is not okay.
I'm in agreement with you. Again, that's why we're kind of working through this right now.
Hello. For me. Okay.
Okay. Find you back. Am I being arrested?
You're under arrest right now.
Really?
I love you. I love you. Oh,
There we go.
I love you. Okay, I love you. I love you.
oh my gosh.
So why is he saying "I love you" to the American Force Police?
Because they arrested him. They got him. They got rid of him.
Isn't that disgusting?
Also, was that Ammon on the phone?
Yes,
Just
that should be noted. It was
Yeah.
he got Ammon on the phone,
Mhm.
and
He's
then
like, this
Ammon's
guy needs to be
dictating to
arrested.
the cops. He's telling them what's legal and what's not. He's dictating to the police. Oh, well, this person's impersonating a process server. That's illegal. Go get him.
And the comments, Bob writes, disgusting. Paisley 278 writes, unbelievable corruption. Mary Cat writes, sickening. Plunged Economics writes, gross. Patrick O writes, these videos show a conspiracy. I mean, that is incredible, right?
Mm-hmm. There's this other comment. I don't know if you can start.
What is it?
Ordo's comment. As we did as you commanded, Mr. Joshua. I thought that was funny.
This one we did.
Yeah.
As you commanded, Mr. Joshua.
The temple
Yes,
language.
the citizens are directing the work of the police force.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole screening charges too. Screening charges. I take that shorthand for like we're making stuff up to see what we can nail this guy with. What's screening charges? Maybe somebody knows that legal term. I don't know if it is one.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then to top it off, we have to play this clip about someone being on the High Council.
Mm-hmm.
So who's talking to who here?
The police are talking to Josh. Josh is just saying, "Oh, I'm on the High Council." I think they're talking about the Mormon kid.
He thinks if he dresses in a white shirt and tie.
Have you seen him in church before?
No, he doesn't. No. Get his driver's license if he has one. He doesn't live around here. I'm on the High Council, and so I don't know how.
Josh is in the High Council?
Yeah.
This corrupt guy is literally in the stake high council?
Well,
he was.
He was.
So for those who don't know, a Mormon congregation is called a ward, so that's like 200 or 300 people, and then 10 to 12 congregations or wards make up what's called a stake, and the stake is led by 3 stake presidency members and then 12 members of the stake high council. It's a very prestigious, powerful position to be in a stake high council, and this apparently allegedly corrupt individual is literally been chosen by his Mormon stake leadership as one of the 15 most righteous and worthy men in a 15 or a 12 congregation area. That's stunning to me, and not surprising.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's wild. All right, Julia. So you've got some conclusion slides. So
So this is just sort of everything's still going. Like even just yesterday, I was like, oh Matt, we have to watch these new videos and we have to add these two. But a restraining order has been. Matt, do you want to talk about this specific?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Okay. So now Bam is moving against Ben and and Brian Mansell and all of Ben's buddies.
They're all getting sued. They're all getting sued.
Or the restraining order. Oh,
well, they're getting a restraining order signed out against them, a temporary restraining order. Now this is let's see, it was signed on. This is interesting on the 28th by the Fourth Circuit Court Judge Tony Graff Jr. And he is the guy. This is interesting. He's the guy that's in charge of the Charlie Kirk murder case. That's who's been assigned to that. So I thought that was kind of wild. It's ex parte, which means that only one side. We're only listening to one side. There's, and we're filing this. It's telling them like he has to take down all his. Ben has to take down all the videos, anything that shows anybody with BAM people in it. A lot of people read it like basically like our feelings hurt, so you have to take it down. In this affidavit, it's saying again there were death threats, which. No one's really seen the meat behind that. Also, it says that this restraining order, part of it is saying, well, we can go ahead and do this because this is not going to cause any legitimate harm to Ben at all. So you look at like what the concerns are, and this is another legal guy called Lawful Masses, and he's saying since it's ex parte, there's no immediate rebuttal. You're just taking one side, and evidence of death threats. Where are they? Now, I can say that I think that BAM has evidence, but an angel buried it under a hill. But yeah, people, where is this? And maybe someone will say they saw it with their spiritual eyes and they can back it up.
All right, Matt.
They quash the biggest part of this that's a problem is that it's like this lawyer was saying this is not usual. You don't quash speech like before a case. That's what the whole thing about libel suits and defamation is. Have people say what they will, then you hash it out in case later. You don't close down the press. You don't stop the press to keep it from people. And that was what was disturbing to him. And the last thing is if this guy's a YouTuber, this is how he does slacklining. Ben does slacklining, and I guess there's a professional circuit for that. But YouTube is like considerable income for him. How would taking him being forced to take down stuff, how would that not be harmful?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not an attorney, but a temporary restraining order is basically saying, hey, until we can really adjudicate this, I need a restraining order. And usually, as I understand it, if there's real imminent harm, the judge might grant an immediate temporary restraining order and then as soon as possible hold a hearing to allow both sides to give their opinions, and then the judge will actually decide whether there's a formal restraining order. So I'm not sure if we know enough to say whether Tony Graff has acted out of line here. I do hope that both sides get to argue their sides before an official standing order is released and is allowed to stand. It is interesting that Ben's being ordered to take down all the videos.
Yes.
What about the free speech implications of that? A lot of it's just footage from like the American Fork Police Department and his analysis. I mean, why is the judge taking all this video content down? I don't get it. Fortunately, these days, as soon as you release something on the internet, everybody copies it, downloads it, and then reshares it. And so we're doing our part to at least keep up the parts that we were able to assemble today. Yeah, it seems like the judge and the judges, my understanding is judges, they can't have all the information. And if they're worried that there might be some safety concerns, they're going to rule on the side of safety. And originally, and I think that's probably a good thing if there really are legitimate death threats. But in this case, the death threats weren't by Ben, right?
Well, that's what they're alleging.
At least if he has, I haven't seen it. I don't know if anything's been posted of any evidence of that.
Yeah, so that seems like the BAM people might be misrepresenting to the judge what happens. And if that's true, if they're misrepresenting, I hope they get in trouble for that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we're trying to find out. Where is the legitimate threat?
And
where is
he does say that he went and threatened Amanda's life, I think, in the original store, right? Salem store. But Ben, I think, films himself every time he goes in or anytime he sends somebody in. And that's obviously we don't see that. I think Ben would have shown that, but of course he could have edited it out, I guess you could say. But as far as I know, he hasn't actually made any threats.
Yeah, I don't see why any of that footage needs to be taken down.
Yeah.
Until there's more proof. So that does seem disturbing based on what I know.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and cut. What is this, Judge Robert Griffin?
So just really quick, there's these next 3 slides. So Judge Roger Griffin, he signed the Airbnb search warrant. It wasn't an arrest warrant that we pointed out earlier. And then the next slide.
Yeah, that search warrant bugs me.
Yeah. And then you have Tony G. Graff, who is the signer of the temporary restraining order.
Yeah, you said G. Graff.
Oh, sorry, Judge Tony F. Graff Jr. Sorry. And then if you show the next slide, Reckless Ben on his Reddit page, he says he shared this post that says 7 of 8 judges in the 4th district are directly tied to the Mormon religion. And then he lists Griffin and Graff as being Mormon.
I'm just going to say, I went to BYU. You know what I mean? Like, Julia, you went to BYU. It's just in all fairness. I don't think it's fair to just say that because someone went to BYU, they're in the pocket of the Mormon church and are corrupt. At least I don't think, Julia, you and I are. I mean, some people allege on the internet that you and I are spies for the church.
But it is also interesting that Ben is pointing this out because I think he feels unfairly treated. Yeah. And I think it's because, so even if it's true or not, or if these people are ex-Mormon or wherever they stand with the church, he definitely thinks that there's this unfairness going on.
And I think as an outsider that BYU is code word for Mormon, even though they accept people of all faiths and so forth. It's just, I think that's just common, like street, just a never mo. That's just what they think.
That's fair. I'm just saying that there are good judges who went to BYU or whatever, or even who are faithful Mormons who are honest and fair and good judges. So we just have to be careful about making too many assumptions there. I had a defamation lawsuit with a judge who was the son of a former deceased Mormon apostle, and I won the lawsuit. And you would think that a son of a Mormon apostle would have, not, been a judge that would preside over something where I would win, but I did. So, we have to be a little bit careful there.
But I just think overall that this story, whether how much Mormons are involved, this is really affecting the Mormon community in a negative way.
Yeah, the optics are terrible.
Yeah.
So
so as part of the concluding, just kind of showing a little bit of a happy ending, even though this is still an ongoing thing. This is his GoFundMe that Ben set up for the Brian Mansell family, and it's help Brian recover his stolen Lego collection. And as of, I think this was taken, I took this morning, there's over $400,000 raised.
Wow.
And then, in the next slide, it shows the GoFundMe that Chrys Law-Gorman or Gorman Law, she has over 75,000 that she's raised.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's great that people are, using their dollars. Because I don't love the idea of just exploiting victims, for clicks. So I do like the idea that that some of this is being used to direct support or relief for the victims.
Right. Although Ben has said that he's still... Basically, I will not rest until the Legos are in. I don't know who owns the Legos now. I don't know if Brian Mansell still has them or if they're in Ben's possession, but he says he won't rest until they're recovered. So, but they have made their money back. So, And then this is another clip where he's talking. This is Ben telling, sort of sharing the news that Mansell was able to confront his dad about the loss of this, and because he's declining in health, and they were worried about this kind of killing him, finding out that all this is gone. But
just for the sake of time, I'm not going to play that.
Oh, sure.
It's touching, basically, that the dying grandpa didn't know, but then was confused, but I'm sure he's happy to learn that his life savings is not going to be completely robbed from his posterity.
Yeah, so it was a good happy ending there.
Yeah.
And then this next one, I know you're wanting to go fast for time, but this next one of the suppliers for BAM cut ties. This is minifigs.me, and they're saying like we can't do this in good conscience anymore, and so they're just
wow.
Yeah.
Now people have been going, when's Lego corporate, real Lego in Denmark? When are they going to say something? Or more like, when are they going to ditch BAM? As far as I can tell, there hasn't really been any, unless this happened like today, there hasn't been any official statement one way or the other.
We'll be watching for that for sure.
Yeah.
And John, I hope it's okay if we actually do play this.
Yeah, let's play it. Let's play it. Because Rebecca's amazing.
This is Rebecca Biblioteca from Mormonish.
I know most of you are familiar with who Josh Johnson is, the Bricks and Minifigs franchise owner who is embroiled in the missing Lego controversy that Reckless Ben has brought to light. Well, the latest police footage, which was leaked and unredacted apparently, shows Josh telling the police or stating that he was on the LDS High Council in his stake. This is interesting. I have a source kind of close to the situation who is able to confirm that, yes, he was on the High Council for about the last year and a half or so, but he has been released from that position as of June 2nd, 2 days ago from the time that I'm taping this. This is kind of unusual on a Tuesday. Usually these things happen formally on a Sunday, but apparently no longer a High Council member, which is kind of a high up position in a local stake. Did Reckless Ben get him released?
We love Rebecca and Mormon.
Yeah, she's a great source.
Somebody writes, the GoFundMe doesn't mean that the Mansells have their money back. BAM is able to file a lawsuit to demand GoFundMe pay the money to them instead.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. That's interesting.
Well, it's interesting you bring up GoFundMe because of the response of the CEO of I'm thinking of Patreon.
Yeah, that's Patreon.
Really quickly, I just want to say it's great. I mean, it seems like we should applaud the Mormon Church for releasing Josh, if that's what they did. If they released Josh for being unethical, we should celebrate that.
Yeah.
So they're doing what they're supposed to do, or it's, he's not following the rules and whatever the bylaws are. And they said, nope, you're not doing this, so we're kicking you out.
Now, we don't know why they released it. Well, I don't even know if they released him, but if it's true they released him, we don't know why they released him. It could have been because he's done things that are embarrassing. Certainly his conduct is unbecoming of a faithful Mormon. The question I would ask is, does he experience church discipline? Like, I got excommunicated for advocating for same-sex marriage and female ordination, and for having a podcast that talked truthfully about history and having questions about Mormon doctrine. Julia, why'd you get excommunicated?
Being gay.
Yeah. So is the church going to have any discipline? Releasing Josh from a calling is one thing. Is lying to police officers and trying to defraud people, is fraud grounds for excommunication, or if not, then being released from his calling is really just a slap on the wrist. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I highly doubt they'll punish him or do any kind of disciplinary action. So this next clip is really short. I really hope we play it. It's Patreon. It's Patreon speaking out about this too.
Oh, wow. That's
from Ben. So the first thing I want to mention is about the Patreon that Ben has, because if you are unaware, a lot of this guy's videos get demonetized, taken down, copyright striked. He has to re-upload them. Even on the part 1 of the Bricks and Minifigs, that he had to put a bunch of little censorship blocks around the whole video. So there's just random things censored in the video. So it really affects his bottom line. So Patreon is where he makes a little bit of that money back. And the Patreon CEO himself went on, made a little 50-second video, and talks about how Bricks and Minifigs reached out to him, or at least his team, to have Ben's Patreon taken down. Right? This is what he had to say.
So after an extensive review and investigation by Patreon's trust and safety team, we have in fact unfortunately determined that Bricks and Minifigs can stuff it. We're keeping Ben's page up. And if Bricks and Minifigs doesn't like that, they can sue us. Patreon out.
Absolute baller response.
I love that. They can stuff it.
Wow, that makes me like Patreon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be noted that they are not a party to the lawsuit, but they were asked by BAM to yank Ben's Patreon. But they are not actually being sued.
Yeah. Let me show a couple comments. So S-Way4731 writes, longtime fan of Dehlin and Reckless Ben. Joshua is clearly on drugs. This is S-Way's opinion. Joshua is clearly on drugs, painkillers, ? There have been, opiate epidemics in Utah. So I don't know if that's true. It's an allegation, but she's claiming that Josh is clearly on painkillers. She's saying, I don't see anyone saying that. His mouth, skin color, and weird shoelessness. She's speculating, but she gave a super chat, so I showed it. Thanks for the opinion. Destiny Salazar says, really appreciate having Matt here for his never-mo perspective, and Julia making sure to bring the receipts. Yes, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Julia. Thanks, John, for platforming this example of corruption by the powerful. Also, great chat discussion today.
Yes.
Thank you, Destiny Salazar, for the super chat. I will also say a couple more. So Mormonish, hey, Rebecca. Mormon,
Oh, yeah, hi.
Oh, cool.
They typically do not discipline for corporate fraud unless it's extreme, but for apostasy, they'll get you every time. That's true. Thank you, Rebecca. Check out Mormonish podcast and Mormon newscast. It was only for cussing. So he was released for cussing. That is a bad thing in Mormonism, at least it used to be. And Radix Dudette says, John, etc., thank you so much for shining your light on this travesty. You've got some outcomes so far, Julia.
Yeah. So if I hopefully I've got all this correct. If I haven't, please correct me in the comments. But on June 4th or 5th, Bricks and Minifig announced major changes regarding the Salem store and the Mansell collection dispute. The Salem store has been permanently closed. BAM announced that it had parted ways with the franchise owners Joshua Johnson and Brandon Best. BAM stated it had found evidence of significant problems during prior management of the location. So I'm assuming they mean
the previous owner.
The Law-Gorman, yes. Gorman Law. According to the statements discussed widely online, BAM is now offering to work with the Mansell family to identify, return, and compensate for inventory that cannot be accounted for.
Now that's good. So BAM is...
If it's true.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's catches too, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't know if they're going to actually follow
we don't really know. But if you go to the next slide, this is...
Yeah, this is his mission buddy, right?
Yeah, this is their webpage. This is up right now. I grabbed this morning. It says Bricks and Minifig parts ways with the Salem, Oregon franchise owners Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson. And yes, this would be Ammon's mission companion. So they're saying they parted ways. That's great. If they have, if you go to the next slide, Reckless Ben shared a post on Reddit. I can't remember what it was, maybe 2 days or 1 day ago, but it has since been removed by the moderator. So you can see here on the left side, this is what I was able to screenshot from what existed previously. You can't click on it anymore, and so it just says it's been removed. So, but Ben believes that BAM lied about parting ways with Josh and Brandon. Then he gives his little spiel about that being an incorrect announcement.
I mean, that would surprise me if these buddies, held each other accountable in some way.
Yeah.
That's not how the stuff works, it seems.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say he comes with receipts, so I'm assuming that what was there was some form of evidence, or otherwise he wouldn't be saying that. But what were you gonna say, Matt?
I was gonna say he's like, look, I'm gonna pretend that we're not buds anymore. All right, doesn't mean I don't really like you. Just we're really gonna still be buds, but we'll come back later. I wonder if that's what Ben was saying. I didn't know anything about this till you put this slide together earlier.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay, final slides, Julia.
Okay. So the Mansell family has not yet won the overall legal dispute, but BAM's latest statement appear to be the substantial shift from its earlier position. The corporate lawsuit against Reckless Ben and others is still active. Reckless Ben's criminal cases and related proceedings are still unresolved, and he has his first court hearing on July 1st. Johnson and Bess appear to be out of the Bricks and Minifigs system, disputed by Reckless Ben, which I just showed. The key remaining question is whether the Mansells ultimately receive all remaining inventory and / or financial compensation for items that cannot be located. So, and then Matt, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, this is like too little, too late. Some people have this opinion that, okay, that's great, he'll give them back, but it's still not changing their perception or their opinion on what's going on here. And so they're not happy with BAM, and they still have a perception that the church is involved somehow in some overall conspiracy. So even when it looks like they're trying to make the position right, the LDS still has this this PR headache to me. But I'm hoping maybe some pressure will happen to change things. I don't know.
Well, this is how we'll know how much power the Mormon Church has, because if the Mormon Church has any power at all, it's going to shut this down. It's going to drop all charges against Reckless Ben. It's going to try and make the story go away. It's going to fire all the bad police officers. It's going to clean up not just the American Fork Police Department, but every police department in the state, because there's just no way this is good for the church. The church does not need millions and millions and millions of people across the world who love Legos, believing that the Mormon Church is super corrupt down to its law enforcement in Utah. So,
and I think a lot of people are finally hearing about Mormonism maybe for the first time because of this story, and this is so negative. And by the way, like if this becomes if this story continues and there's international coverage of Reckless Ben's legal exploits, this could be catastrophic for the church's reputation, right? Yeah.
I agree.
And
That's why I think it's the biggest story. It's bigger than other scandals.
Yeah.
I mean, this has the potential of being more damaging to the church than the Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby Franke,
Secret Lives or whatever. I don't know if that's damaging, but
I mean, in terms of actual damage, right?
Oh yeah.
So I hope the church cleans this up, because I don't want corrupt police departments in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's people, I showed the negative comments, but there's also comments from faithful folks, and they're like, I'm appalled. I don't want this. I don't want them. They're not representing me. These aren't my views. And so there's a lot of that too.
Yeah. Well, there probably are some legitimate criticisms of how Reckless Ben is dealing with all of this.
Sure.
Is he being unethical? Is he poking the bear? Is he putting any other people at risk or at harm? Is he breaking the law? Is he lying? Is he deceiving? But I guess that'll come out. And some are asking, is he causing more harm than good at this point?
The other thing is the Gormans have become a topic too, because BAM is basically putting it all on them. It's them.
Yeah.
They did it. And I don't know if we want to talk any more about them, but they've kind of been like people are wondering about what their real situation is too.
Well, I need to wrap up tonight because Margie's waiting for me. But Matt, really quickly, Matt, thank you so much for being willing to help us together and for your expertise and your interest. Tell everybody how they can follow or hire you if they like what you represent.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a YouTube. Thank you. I'm so pleased, and I hope you say hi to Margie, because I'm a big fan. You probably hear that all the time. Yeah, fine, John. Get Margie on. And working with Julia, it's been fantastic. To reach me, I have a YouTube channel called Matt's Custom Creations, and it's with 2 Ks. And I just have fun. I'm just a little guy, but share the joy of Lego.
So people can check out your videos and they can hire you to do custom.
Yeah. If they want a special build.
Okay.
That's I can do it.
or
And I can also
LARPing,
teach them how.
or LARPing / cosplay costume design, right?
Yeah, I don't do that so much anymore because of the space it took up. And so I'm like,
Oh.
I better go with Lego because I mean, I was like that Transformer, the Optimus Prime costume. I mean, it's big. I've made bigger ones, and you just I couldn't store them all, and yeah, and it just kind of tore the house up too. So at least now I'll just tear up one room.
All right. Well, Matt, it's great to have you on Mormon Stories. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting us. We probably couldn't have done this without you, so thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad everybody was begging for y'all to talk about it. I'm glad I could bring it to you and I could join in it.
It seems like our audience appreciates what we did, so that's good. I was worried about that. I wasn't able to prepare because I was out of town. Julia, I also have to thank you. You accepted this assignment in the middle of another assignment, and you just kicked butt, and you made this happen. You did so much great work, Julia.
Oh, thanks. This was really fun to research. Like, this was really fun.
Well,
you must have thought I was a nut calling you and going, and then this happened, and then this happened.
That was great. That was fun.
Well, Julia, you do great work for us, so I just thank you so much for all you do.
Yeah.
All right. And thanks to Rebecca, and thanks to everyone for joining us today. Thanks to our amazing commenters. You guys made great comments. We really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who emailed me. I probably had 10 or 20 people tell me to do this story. Thanks to everyone who recommended that we do this. Thanks to all the super chats. Thanks to all the donors. We couldn't do this without you. Please like and subscribe. Please comment. Please email us. Please recommend future stories. Please, everyone email Ben and tell Ben to come on Mormon Stories. We would love to have him on Mormon Stories. Wouldn't that be super fun?
It would be so fun.
Heck yeah.
And so please, everyone bug Ben until he comes on Mormon Stories. Email him, tweet him, harass him in loving ways.
Stalk him? What?
Stalk him in loving ways. Let's get him on. And then also just thanks to everyone who donates to make this possible. If you want to donate to Mormon Stories to keep it alive, go to mormonstories.org/donate. Y'all should know the Mormon Church is suing us, I believe, trying to shut us down, silence us, and bankrupt us. You can learn about that in our previous video we released on this feed. But if you want to support us in our legal ways to try and defend ourselves against the Mormon Church being litigious, in my opinion, you can go to mormonstories.org/legal to donate and support us as well. Thanks to everyone for joining us today. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. We hope that the family gets their money back, and we hope that justice prevails. And I think we all owe, Ben a bit of a debt of gratitude for helping us learn about this case, because this is some shisty, scary, dark, unethical stuff. And if it weren't for Ben, we wouldn't know about any of this. So I do want to shout out to Reckless Ben for bringing this to our attention. So thank you, Ben. You're a legend. Thanks, Julia.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt. No thanks to the American Force Police Department. Please do better. And we'll see you all again soon on another episode of Mormon Stories Podcast. Take care, everybody.